Hey everybody, welcome to the NoRights Podcast. I am your host, Ben, and let me just stop the music there. There we go. You probably couldn't hear it, but it was still playing for me. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. It's Monday. I'm your host, Ben, and joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Ian. How you doing, Ian?
Pretty good. How about you, sir?
Oh, I can't complain, because nobody would listen. Anyway, also joining us this week is friend of the show, and... what do we call you? Regular guest? Oh yeah, returning champion. He wants to be known as the returning champion. With his belt.
Oh,
He brought his own belt, folks. We didn't issue him that. He just...
That would be the current, reigning, defending heavyweight champion of the world.
Heavyweight. You
Shouldn't
have
you-
to call me fat,
shouldn't
brother.
you
I'll
say,
see you in the ring.
Of the world, shouldn't you say of Google? Oh,
It says world heavyweight champion.
Which world?
no, I
This
say
world?
Google because
Westworld?
you're good at cheating on Google.
Hey, I did not cheat last week. Sorry to say, but the simple fact of the matter, you lost fair and square. That's why I have this.
No, I
that's
thought
why
you
this-
had it because you just had it. Like, you had
This
that
is-
when we met you.
This is not going anywhere. See, when you're the champ, it comes with perks, my friends.
Mm-hmm. Like, some days his wife won't yell at him so loudly because he's the champ.
I'm not going to use the Cena euphemism.
Okay.
We'll leave that out of it.
Ah, man alive. So, how you guys doing this week?
It's going to be better once I hit the lights. Hit the lights!
Hit the light, fool! Oh, well, I don't know. Most parties, when the lights come on, all of a sudden everyone's like, oh crap, run!
Jeepers, it's a fuzz.
Oh, man alive. Like when you hear a police siren, oh, my riot's here, gotta go.
Beetle, beetle, beetle.
Oh, man. So,
Jeez.
Ian, Doug and I were on his podcast on Thursday, the Crashcast, am I correct?
Correct.
Because Ian and I were on a previous show with you before that, and I don't know. I was talking to Ian about that. It's like, we were expecting him to show up, man, and then it's like, you didn't, and we thought, oh no, maybe we insulted him, maybe we did one too many jokes, and, you know, yeah, maybe
Well-
we hurt your feelings.
No, that wasn't it at all. Actually, I forgot what time his show started at, and I was out doing some work for photography, and while I was out doing that, my phone was dead the whole time, so
And then conveniently you happen to be in one of those slasher movies where nobody has a cell phone and can call for help, and
yeah, I could have died and nobody would have known.
it's weird how, like, you can suddenly go to 1995 technology and then the world is a very dangerous place. And instead it's like, hold on, let me just randomly wirelessly connect to any human being on the planet right now. Okay. Oh man.
Yeah.
Technology.
So I apologize about that. I didn't even know what time it started because I got back at 6 or so. I probably could have joined in on the show, but I just didn't. I thought it was going to be at like 8 or something.
Bull snacky.
We've had all kinds of interesting, like, technological hiccups trying to get people on shows, and Kyle's had some interesting ones. So he's joined us a number of times, but also he's intended to, and like he loaned his mic out and forgot. That one seemed kind of funny. It's like, I asked him like the day before, like, you want me on the show? Yep. And then he's like, oh crap, I loaned my mic out and I forgot. How do you forget you loaned the thing you need to be on the show with? Then we tried to use the Hangout app and it didn't quite work. And then another time he just like slept through it, which must have been quite the day. I don't know. Stuff like that happens. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, there have been times we try to start the show and then the theme song can't pipe through, or, you know, one of you guys can't hear us, or somebody has a weird echo. Because I remember when Ian had Nate on, it sounded like he was in an auditorium. Nate sounded alright, but Ian's for some reason was feeding back a little bit. So, yeah.
Oh. Where this is we don't have a giant company to help us with this stuff, so
Nope.
we try to do what we can.
Yep. Just
One
a couple
day
of
I
guys.
imagine getting, one day I imagine getting picked up by SiriusXM. Probably never happened, but
Yeah.
Well, you get picked up just to be dropped down on the ground and shattered into little pieces, as they do. That's how I picture us being picked up by anybody. And the fun's being indie, unless Microsoft buys you for $2.5 billion, then yes, sir, whatever you want, sir.
No, I'd rather go with SiriusXM any day of the week.
Oh, man. So what have you been up to this weekend, Doug? Ian said he was working on his panoramas again. How many of those do you have, Ian?
I'm probably gonna get close to 110. I mean, it's just fun, and I'm just doing it until the weather turns to shit, you know.
Well, then you get the winterscapes. People want to see those, don't they?
Well,
In the
yeah,
fall?
you could do a couple of them once in a while. I have the whole winter to do that, you know.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, as I also, by the way, I did see your post on my Facebook. It was my birthday on Friday, 19th.
Okay, I wasn't sure what day it was. Because when I'm checking Facebook, it's always at like random hours, and I saw, oh, hey, it's Ian's birthday. Better wish him a happy birthday before I forget, and then it's not anymore, because it happens sometimes. Like, I meant to say something. Yeah. Did you have a happy birthday, Ian?
Yes, I did. It was really nice. I had my friend Mike from Pittsburgh came over, so Mike G. That was pretty nice.
Oh,
To
sweet.
see him again. He came in with his wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Was he the guy that we had on the show before, or?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, you mentioned Fred's from AIP that I don't remember or didn't know, because I was only there for a year, so sometimes I have to try in my head.
Right.
Well,
Also, I wanted to say, I did for a birthday present. My parents helped me out. I finally got my first tablet. Actually,
oh, what kind did you get?
I got it's pretty new. It just came out like a couple of months ago or something. It was the new Samsung Galaxy Tab S. It's an 8-core, 1.9 gigahertz tablet. It's some kind of weird. The resolution is weird, but I think it's almost like 4K or something like that. So it's a pretty crazy resolution. And there's just like a lot of specs on it. You could probably just put out there, but it's pretty nice. I'd like to get one of those keyboard things to attach to it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah.
also, I was thinking about getting one of those stylus you were talking about. You can use that either activate by Bluetooth or some kind of sonic thing or something.
Yeah, there's
Sound
all
waves.
kinds of options now, man. You know, just gotta make sure it has like palm rejection and some other stuff. You just also you have to have the app to support it. You know, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
since you just got it, you probably have like the basic apps right now.
Yeah, well, I find it's so easy to, instead of trying to download them one by one on a tablet, I just go online on the computer and then just go through my app history and then just click on install and just install each of them, you know, that way.
Sounds pretty groovy.
So I put all the ones that I had on my phone on the tablet that I use, you know.
Awesome. How about you, Doug? What have you been up to?
Writing, recording, and programming. I'm
Oh.
still putting stuff together for my book. I'm writing and working with GarageBand on some music, and just trying not to go insane.
Writing,
Really the big thing.
writing, recording, and music. So basically, you've been doing the Jonathan Colton. What?
Man, let me tell you this.
All right.
When you have so many musical influences on the stuff that you do, and you want to do like everything all at once,
Mm-hmm.
God, it's just insane. I've been toying around with doing like covers of Guar and stuff.
I heard they have a new front woman, so.
She's not their front woman. Blothar is the front man.
Ah.
The new lady in Guar, and if I can, I think I can find a picture of her.
Okay.
Her name is Volvatron.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yes, you heard that correctly.
So without the Tron, it's just Volva.
Yeah, pretty much. And the thing is, like when Brocky was the lead singer of War, he had a they call it the cuttlefish, which basically a codpiece, and blood would spurt out. And I'm going to show you a safe for work photo of Volvatron. There's a good looking picture of Volvatron. You can see it.
Sure.
And Volvatron's gimmick is that she squirts blood out of her nipples on stage.
Oh.
Remember, kids, Guar is more about the performance instead of the music, even though the music is still pretty damn good.
You know.
Because when you see them perform Saddam a Go-Go, you kind of get the idea.
Saddam Hussein in Go-Go Boots. I'd watch that.
That's Saddam a Go-Go, that's the name of the song.
Do 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 do. Anyway.
Diddy rock, diddy rock, diddy rock, diddy rock, diddy rock. There's a song which I think is fitting for our times. I'm sure I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. It's called "Slap You Around." It is so asinine and stupid. It's funny. Number one, because how far Guar takes it. My goodness. You listen to Slap You Around right next to a song called Don't Need a Man, which has got, I can't remember her name, but she used to be one of the ladies who was with Guar as well. And it's this really kind of slow, bluesy, jazzy style tune, and it's Guar, and you know it's Guar, but it's just totally the antithesis of everything else that they do. I mean, they do covers like they covered "School's Out" by Alice Cooper and all that, and then you hear "Don't Need a Man," and you're just like, "What the hell am I listening to?" It is insane.
Insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Cypress Hill, friend.
I know.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of musical stuff on that. Trying to find a couple good songs to cover and have a little bit of fun with, and it isn't horrible so far. So the story I'm working on isn't exactly terrible either. Everyone seems to like what I'm doing so far, so. Actually was compared to J.R.R. Tolkien without all the long-ass bullshit.
What long-ass bullshit? J.A. He's pretty good, isn't he? J.A. Tolkien.
Okay. Tolkien is a good... Okay, here's the thing with Tolkien. I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this, by the way. I don't have anything specifically against Tolkien, but he would write exposition on how a field looked, and it'd take up 30 pages. He would get so in-depth and so detailed on facts in trivia that you would have absolutely no care about. He could set the scene for you, but the scene would be half the movie. That's the thing about Tolkien.
There are writers every now and again I'll read and go, well, they very obviously like writing, don't they? So, yeah, I always subscribe to the George Carlin preference of brevity is the soul of wit. If you can't say it quickly and succinctly, you're not trying hard enough. So, although I also enjoy Stephen King, but I don't know.
Indians just won, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. Go Tribe.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I remember in high school for a long time when when nobody liked the Indians, and all of a sudden, hey, they're doing really good. Everyone likes the Indians now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, Drew Carey had a bit. He's like, nobody wants to go see the Indians. He's like, they suck. You know they suck. They know they suck. Like, whatever. So that was a long time ago, though. They've been doing pretty good from what I've heard. I don't know. I mean, even if they are a good team, baseball is one of those sports I like hearing about, but then I try and watch a game, and even good teams, I feel like, are we waiting? What's going on, guys?
Huh?
Somebody down there playing? No? Okay. No? Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, football is a little bit different with, like, football because, being in the marching band, we went to all the games, and it's like, football is a precise game that, like, the plays take, like, a couple seconds, and it's like, hold on now, everybody's lined up for the next play. Okay, okay. So, yeah. So that's, I'm not a sports guy that much, They're alright.
Yeah, some people, it's just like, it's almost like tribalism, man. It's crazy. I remember growing up seeing, like all the grown-ups and stuff being like, just like shouting, man. It was like scary sometimes. They
people
get
will get
so
in a
mad
fight.
and at the
Yeah.
screen.
Oh. You give drunk people a reason to fight, it's gonna happen. How it goes.
Alrighty. So, anyway. So now we've caught up on what Ian's been doing with his panoramas, Doug's been doing with his writing and his music, and is taking over the world, slowly but surely. I've been working on things. Today I was working on the intro and a little bit of an outro for that Minecraft Let's Play I'm going to be starting up soon.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's just like the last 10% of finishing the thing. It's like, this is just a silly little animation to go before the video, just call it done and be done with it. It's like, no, it'll haunt me if I don't get these last, like, 6 frames correct. So, I think it's just the concept of being done with a thing, because usually, like, it's like, oh, I want to start this project, and then it's like, ending? You mean a project gets done and out the door? I'm not used to that. It's like voting for somebody that wins. You're like, wait, I don't know how I feel about this. Or being a Red Sox fan.
Yeah. Are you able to show us anything, or are you still? You're like, I'm not gonna show.
I'll show you guys, but I don't want to show it on the stream. I want to, see. I'll show it to you guys, and you can tell me if I totally need to go back and rework it. Because the thing is, I've been working on it all day, so I honestly I'm sure I'll see some glaring mistakes or something like that, and you guys just be like, hey, it looks fine. You know how it is with animation.
That mistake doesn't exist. What is wrong with you?
Well, I'm sure, it'll be looking great, and then you'll go, wait, pause that frame. What is wrong with that guy's face? That's not how a face works. Is that his eye and his other eye is over here? No, go back to your room and try again.
I don't know. I'm not good. I usually don't do that where I can recognize if there's something wrong with the frame in either animation or like a lot of people do in movies. They're
well,
what was wrong with that part?
Well, it's funny because I spend time going through trying to get it all done at once, and then I play it through, and then I start noticing little ticks in like it's a guy holding a pickaxe and he's like picking away and he lifts it up, and I'm seeing like a jerky motion in the hand, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't be looking at that hand. That's everything else looks fine. I mean, sure, this goofy oh no, I'm gonna have to redo the whole thing, aren't I? Trying to convince myself not to, man, to let it be. So, but anyway, so did you want to dive into the news stories? Excuse me.
Oh well, before I do, I wanted to ask you. Actually, we'll talk about it when we're talking about the server stuff.
Okay.
I guess we could start on the news if you want. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add about your life, Doug? Any woe is me or anything like that?
Or is it like any things are so sweet?
The trouble I've seen,
nobody knows.
Nobody knows but Jesus.
So she's a base.
Who'd have known?
Funny, she doesn't look Jewish.
Not a lot beyond that. No, it's just plugging away at ideas and putting stuff together. I'm probably the most productive on both my music and my story that I have been in quite a long time since I ditched my other job. So,
oh, glad that's working out for her, man.
It's a renewed sense of being, sense of purpose, I guess, might be the best way of putting it.
Yeah, I've been feeling that way. I tend to feel, jazzed up on Mondays. I'm like, all right, I want to conquer the world. This is going to be great. And then Tuesday, it's like, what? Oh, the alarm? Yeah, I guess conquer world. And then by, like, Thursday, it's like, go team, conquer.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, you still get through
I hope I keep jazzed up. Yeah, I hope I can stay jazzed up. Like, that's been the biggest problem, I think, as you get older, is like, I look back at the stuff I did in my 20s, like, man, I just plowed through all this stuff, and now it's like, I have to start on this one. That seems like,
Yeah.
It's just to keep going, go. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, though. My Amazon order just came in today.
Okay.
I'm working on getting all of these eventually, but I'm a man. I'm comfortable in my masculinity to admit that I bought this on Amazon. It just got delivered today,
All right.
and it looks like it's delivered from Britain, actually. I think so. There you go.
All right, let's just take a look at that on full screen. Spice Girls.
Yeah.
Live in Istanbul. I just recently watched a video review of somebody playing the Spice World PlayStation game.
I'm a huge Spice Girls fan, and that game is not the best I've ever played.
Yeah, well, that was her reaction. She's like, she didn't care about the Spice Girls when they were a thing, but now she likes going back to the nostalgia. And she played the game, and all the models are hideous. She's like, what? Why? What's with their faces? So,
I think they were going for kind of crap. I think they're kind of going for like a Parappa the Rapper style of game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then again, 90%.
Say you do like a lot of those games that came out in the '90s were just Parappa the Rapper ripoffs. It's kind of
well. There's that, and the fact that 95% of licensed games blew. So that yes, very much so. I mean, even if it wasn't trying to knock off another particular game, it's still just a licensed thing. So
yeah.
Anyway, so now it's time for the news with Ian.
Actually, before we do that, I was gonna put a link.
Okay, not the news with Ian.
If anyone is like a specs whore or whatever, or a specs junkie, I'll put up the
oh yeah, tell me all that
Amazon
specs.
link to the Amazon links to the or the Amazon link.
It's Samsung, nobody cares.
Whatever Galaxy. Oh come on, man.
I'm an Apple guy. I got to get my digs in when I can, especially when we sold over 10 million iPhones over the weekend.
So how much of that did you get, Doug?
Smashing it.
Well.
I mean, hey, if it has horsepower, it's got pretty good. I mean, it's better than my other computers I was trying to set up for rendering, you know.
Hey, man, you know,
I wish
as
I
long
could
as
put
you...
my 3D programs on it and stuff. I wish I could put my 3D programs on it and then help use that for rendering too, you know.
Well, you know, as long as you get use out of it and enjoy what you use it for, man, that's all that really matters with it.
Yeah.
So.
Just think of it like this. Android, at least we're not Microsoft. That should be the entire promo. Like, Windows devices would go, Android devices would go, whoop.
Well, what do you hate about the, you know, like those Microsoft Surface or whatever? What's wrong with those?
They're made by Microsoft.
Well, what's wrong with Microsoft then?
Everything.
Let's get to the root of it.
And get to the root of it. Hey, Ben, he's asking for a rant.
No.
Hey,
okay,
Chris Pirillo's.
I think I could put this in 2 minutes or less.
Okay.
Microsoft can't program worth a damn. Windows 8.1 is a total pile of crap that nobody likes. Cortana is a blatant ripoff of Siri. Let's see what else we got. Even with it being 8.1 on a tablet, it's still hackable, even more hackable than Android, which is pretty bad in of itself. I'd rather own an Android than own a Microsoft device. And I hate Android, I can't stand it. I'll never own any other device except for Apple. And if given the choice, I'd rather own a Droid phone than a Microsoft device.
What about BlackBerry?
I actually owned a BlackBerry before I got my Android device, and I was like, oh, I want it back so bad when I had my Droid device. The moment that I decided that it was time to switch from Droid to Apple, I was sitting in a DMV. My device is having problems. It's about 8 months in of having my phone. And I closed out all my other programs because I knew I needed the space to do it. I'm in the middle of a simple Twitter post, sitting at the DMV waiting for my force close. I just sit there with the phone in my hands. My wife walks up to me and says, "Want to go get an iPhone?" And I'm like, "Oh, hell yes." That was that.
Yeah, I had fun recently with my computer. The startup drive was full. And I'd recently deleted like 1.5 gigs of stuff. So I don't know how that got full up again. So I moved all my games off of that on my bigger drives. So that was fun. Steam crying about that. You can't delete the default library, you know, you have to keep it, and we're gonna install stuff in it even if you don't want us to. Thanks.
Shut up!
Thanks, I guess. So anyway.
I like Chris Pirillo's outlook on like Apple and Microsoft and stuff. He has like Surface, and he has like pretty much everything. It seems like he just likes technology in general, you know.
See, for me, I like technology in general too, but I have a need for my tech to work out of the box and have it work on a consistent basis. When I had my Droid device, that wasn't the case. I mean, it was smooth sailing for about the first 3 months of having my Droid. And then, it's like the honeymoon's over, and here is where it all goes to hell. You know? And I'd seen so many people have issues with Windows devices, even worse than Droids. And that's where I get that whole mentality from. Is like, the only time I've ever had to replace an Apple device is when it's my fault. And that's just the way it's always been.
What about Amazon stuff? What's your opinion on that?
it's kind of hard to quantify Amazon to me, because Amazon is, number one, always late to the party, and they always want custom builds, which completely locks you out of some of the good parts of Android. I mean, the Kindle Fire, yeah, it's a powerful machine, but it's not a full functioning tablet. It's e-reader, content first, and then here's some tablet stuff off to the side. Same with the Nook. E-reader first, here's the stuff off to the side. It's unfortunate that I think I read a chart that said that there at any point in time on the market, there's over 18,000 Android devices in existence of current available models. I'm like, what? I never thought it was that large. I thought it was maybe a couple hundred at best. 18,000 different Droid models. That reduces compatibility, that reduces ability to program on a consistent basis to upgrade your devices later on as well, because God knows that they release a new 4.3, 4.4 update. Most people don't see those. I mean, Apple's like, here you go, ding. That's probably the worst part about it, is because if I buy a Samsung Galaxy S5, it comes with I think they come with KitKat 4.4 built into the machine. I may not see 4.5 or 4.6 or 4.7 or whichever it is. With my iPhone, I'm guaranteed at least 2 to 3 years of guaranteed updates, not having to go through Verizon or T-Mobile or AT&T like a Droid user has to do. I get my stuff straight from Apple. Boom, done.
Right, so you don't, your phone is fully unlocked then, that's what you're saying?
I like it that way. Everyone's like, well, Apple's got too much of a stranglehold on its app store. Good. I mean, there's so much malware and spyware and bloatware on Droid devices. It's so easy to catch a virus. 99% of all malware and spyware and bloatware are made for Droid devices. And that's a true stat.
Well, some people have issues with the walled garden approach. I mean, I personally think that, with Apple, they curate the thing, the App Store, they approve things because they want, everything with Apple is about the customer experience, and it has to be uniform, and it has to be good throughout. Versus Windows is, we'll get it running on everything. And
eventually.
You can do what you want with the device, and it's like, well, yeah, till you can't find anything made for it, because, it's a matter of what you prefer to use, and I like iOS. I mean, I haven't tried a Windows phone or a Droid phone or anything. I'm sure my problem is that I don't think it'd be as uniform. If I've used an iPhone before, I can tell what another iPhone's going to be like. And when I got my iPad, I knew what that was going to be like. If I went and just picked up the whatever on a Droid or a Windows phone, it might be radically different from my last phone. And I might have to relearn everything on it. So...
And it's really hard. I mean, I work in electronics, man. It is insanely hard to provide basic tech support on a device that's 2 years old. I mean, at least the way Droid phones used to be able to go in and really fuck around. I mean, you knew where stuff was. You wouldn't have to go through a computer to be able to access simple stuff like pictures. There are certain pictures, but when it's stored on your Droid phone, you can't access from the phone. People that want to, offload them to print them, can't do it. They got to go through their computer to offload them. There's subfolders of subfolders of blah 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 blah, and it's popping up. I had this one lady who it popping up thumbnails from games that she was playing. Wouldn't pop up her pictures. Come on. It's the simple stuff that they get wrong. I mean, yeah, they shove all this hardware into the devices, but the usefulness is not there. That's why everyone's like, well, the iPhone 6 has the same features as the Nexus 4 years ago. I say, when Apple puts it out, it's ready. When the Nexus 4, I think it was Nexus 4 or the Nexus 7, initially came out, half the features that they touted as, oh, we have this and Apple will never have it. It didn't work. And I'm like, there you go. You know, was it Steve Jobs said once, like, I want to be able to open up a device and it just works. It just works. Android, it might work in 2 months when we put out an update, if you get that update. Maybe.
I'm not that hardcore of a device junkie myself, so I mean, if it works pretty decent, I mean, I'm happy with it. As long as if I'm able to do whatever I want in it, that's fine. And I mean,
well, that's
like
also
Ben said, if you could get what you want out of it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
You know,
and I can understand that. I have the mentality of, if I'm dropping X amount of dollars, I want X amount of dollars worth. You know, I spent $650 on the Mac that I'm hanging out with you guys on. I spent probably around $600 on the 3 laptops that we went through before. And also, mind you, the Power Mac G5 that my Mac Mini is sitting on right now, even though I'm not using it because I'm using the Mini, I used the Power Mac G5 to get used to the Mac OS X. You know, I got used to it. I was running Snow Leopard, which is super old, but it's the introduction into OS X, Mac OS. It is that, okay, here, first taste. Here's what you learn how to do. I learned how to work my entire Mac Mini from working with my Power Mac G5, which, for being a 2003 model, I believe, is a freaking beast, and it still runs day one perfect, even with the update. It's like 2 gigs of RAM and like 120 gig hard drive, something like that. Really, like, old. It's got a lot of age on it, and you can tell. Yeah. I mean, it shows its age, but it still goes, man. I mean, most Windows users are like, man, you have it from 2003. I bought this 4 months ago and it doesn't work anymore. You know, most of the Windows computers that I've had don't last 2 years. I think the last one that lasted an extended amount of time was a Compaq Presario, back when Compaq was still a company, mind you, and it ran Windows XP. And I had it when me and my wife were dating, way long ago, and
back in the before times.
Back before the Skype and before the iTunes and before the YouTube, before these things, we had LiveJournal. LiveJournal was Facebook and MySpace to us. You see.
Yeah.
But back then it ran like a champ. Mostly because they had a whole bunch of viruses. I just contained, like, I ran some free spyware, malware stuff off the net, hit it, contained it, expired, still kept it contained, and I got another 6 months out of it. But I mean, it ran pretty well for being like a 4-year-old computer at the time. It almost seems like with each and every update, and this is I'm not sure if you guys noticed this either, but it's an on and off scenario, which they've recently broken, by the way. But it was an on and off scenario. XP was fantastic. Vista was shit. 7 was fantastic. 8 was shit. Technically, 8.1.
I stick with 7 right now.
Yeah, that's why most people stick with 7.
And that's why every even Star Trek movie is the good one. Wait, We get a different rant now. I'm sorry. The nerd rants have kind of crossed streams. I'm sorry.
You don't cross the streams, Egon.
Well, the thing
I
is,
looked into the trap. I looked through the trap, Ray. I looked through the trap.
well, the thing is you gotta realize too is myself and a lot of people come from, you know, like I like a lot of custom stuff. That's why I built myself a custom computer. I don't mind living out in the Wild West, that swim at your own risk type thing. That's why I'm even thinking about loading a custom OS ROM on and rooting my tablet and stuff, you know. So I mean, I just like doing custom. I mean, I Frankenstein all my devices. I don't try to make sure mine are all just like Microsoft devices or whatever. I like trying to get what is cool, you know, and it works pretty decent, you know.
Oh, and I'll never take that away from anybody either. I mean, if you want to go through and you know, do the custom stuff and take that chance, I mean, more power to you if you know how to do it and know how to fix the stuff that your maker is kind of screwed up in a way. Because some people are like, well, I don't like this ROM, I'm switching to X ROM. But
yeah,
for me, I want, you know, rock and roll out of the box. You know, what Rockstar? Gotta have Rockstar out the box.
I could understand that. I mean, if
you're
you really
selling me
fiddle
Honey Nut
with
Cheerios, it better damn well be Honey Nut Cheerios, okay?
Right. Well, that's the thing is
there used to only be 2 flavors of Cheerios, regular and Honey Nut. Now there's a lot, and it kind of scares me. Chocolate Cheerios.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that. Fruit Cheerios. What?
Right.
Multicolored
Well,
Cheerios.
And that's the thing is a lot of people, they don't really want to have to fuss with this or have to fuss with viruses like you know, Ben's that way. I don't mind having to learn my computer inside and out and having to figure out how to keep viruses at bay and having to worry about how to just make it work myself. You know, I don't care about doing that because I actually like being more of a technology geek myself, you know, and more of a computer nerd, I guess. It doesn't bother me.
I don't know. I mean, my experience with it, it's been with Windows things, it just seems like basic functionality and that you're always going to get a virus on Windows. I mean, I know there's, you know, all kinds of vulnerabilities on OS X, and I know there's all kinds of issues now that since they've been on Intel and all that stuff. But, you know, just like there'd be days where I wouldn't do anything on my Windows PC, and I would still all of a sudden have to go and run a virus scan because somehow something on some regular site gave me a thing. So.
Oh no, yeah. That almost sucks.
Yeah.
What?
Remember when Apple bought Beats?
By Dre?
Yeah.
I
It's
saw
been
something about
reported that Apple will shut down Beats Music, won't forget about Dre.
Well, of course they don't forget about him. They paid him a bunch of money.
Yeah.
That's one
Yeah,
rich mo.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's
We'll see.
why I think that'll give us a good opportunity to segue into our news here, right, Ben?
The news with Ian. Ian's got some news on the news with Ian.
Is this going to be one of those things where he announces that he's the leader of his own cannabis club and says, "Fuck it, I quit"? Did you hear about that?
Nope, don't know what you're talking about.
You've got to look it up, man. It is hilarious. But that's not the news. Even though it happened on the news in Alaska.
Yeah.
In Alaska.
And And at least you think that I don't have respect for Apple. That actually our first article is about Apple. It's about iOS 8, the best hidden features. So I'm sure you guys are ready on that, aren't you?
Let's see. I'm gonna bring it up here.
Let me tell you the best hidden feature on iOS 8. How to disable the podcast app. That one, I found a video from a guy who was displaying the text on how to get it out.
Ben.
Yes.
No, you don't want them to disable the podcast app.
But I did.
We're recording a podcast. No.
No, I want them to listen to this podcast through the music player on their iPhone, because the podcast app sucks horrible things. Horrible. It has a 2-star rating in the store. It's useless. Most things aren't on there. You can't make playlists with it. And it expects you to store your podcast locally on your device. I don't have room for all the stuff I listen to. So,
I thought that's supposed to be a cultivated app though from Apple.
no, it's not just cultivated. It's, hey, we know this thing isn't ready for prime time. Well, we're gonna make it mandatory, and you can't delete it now. You have to go in and use a restrictions thing and enter a passcode in order to turn it off. And eventually, we're probably gonna get rid of that. Anyway.
Okay, well.
All right.
I guess it has a better. Since you mentioned app, it's supposed to have a better app store. That I guess it.
I could dig it. No,
it keeps tracks of songs. I guess.
Yeah, Ben, it keeps tracks of songs.
Gosh. I don't know, when I went to the App Store, it was mostly a bunch of, like, find your related searches. It didn't have, like, anything on the front page of, check out the new thing, download the new one. So,
well, let's see. We'll take a look at it in real time, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go to that fantastic App Store, and we're just gonna see what just pops right up, okay?
Are you doing Bob Hope, or is that Ted Koppel? Here I'm Ted Koppel.
Thank you for watching 60 Minutes. I'm Ted Koppel. Do you know it's going to be a really big shoe? It's a really big shoe that we have on tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles. Yes.
If you guys don't like that, you're really not going to like our NYPD shoe bit. It's basically the same thing. Alright,
well,
Ian, so what's
from what I'm reading, it looks like it just gives you better suggestions based on what you like with the music and radio. So
I'll show you guys right now, as a matter of fact, one good thing about the App Store that they never had. They have a... can't really show it too well, but see if I can bring it up. The search gives you suggestions. Yeah, you can't really see it. A little bit. But it does give you suggestions. First is trending searches. For me and my iPhone, it is NFL Now, Think Dirty, Dunkin' Donuts app, NFL Scores, Raleigh Bird, check.
Think Dirty.
Trello. Yeah. Yik Yak.
What have you been doing there, Doug?
Quizlet and Diamond Digger Saga. The Explore tab is actually is improved. It actually has a popular near me, which of course for our area is a WMFD app and a News Journal app, and then it has all the categories. We'll pick one. Tell me to pick one. Tell me to pick one. Tell me to pick
technology.
One. Technology. There's really not one for technology. How about productivity?
Okay, sure. Productivity.
Featured productivity. Mail deck for email. Contact center. StudyCal. Acorn app. ScanBot PDF scanner. Actually kind of interesting when we stop to think about it. Enhanced for iOS 8. Evernote. 1Password. OmniFocus. This is free promotion. Productivity 101 collections, get stuff done, apps for writers, which I've actually, since I'm a writer, let's take a look at the apps for writers. Manuscript makers, Pages, which by the way, I love Pages, okay? Pages is fantastic. Don't you ever hate on Pages. I love Pages so much.
Leave Pages alone!
Right. Leave Pages alone! No, Pages is great. And I'm done.
Right.
Daedalus Touch. Storyist. $9.99. By the way, did you also know WWE Network is $9.99? Weekend Road, Distraction Free Writing, Writer Pro, Byword, Editorial, Write for iPhone, Prompts for Writers, Plain Text 2, Dropbox Tech. It actually, when you take a look at a lot of these, it does. One thing that I thought was kind of bad about it, it kind of seemed like the screen was kind of cluttered, and now they've improved that. So it's a good thing.
Right.
All right, Ian. So, what are the other killer features on the new iOS?
Well, you can read them in detail. They have it has a lot of features, so I'll just go through them based on the title of each feature. It says it has more. You can customize your mail better. It has a view of which apps are murdering your battery. So I guess it helps you keep track better of your battery usage, I guess.
Holding certain apps accountable.
Yeah, exactly. You can swipe to dismiss notifications. It has a smarter, safer Safari. A Notes app you might actually use. Fine-tune camera controls, handling the weather, so it has a lot of weather features, I guess, that are added to it. Personalized share sheets, location-based lock screen notification. I guess that's it. There's it looks like a lot of features, though. I mean, have you used any of the stuff that I mentioned? I mean, I know it just came out last Friday, didn't it?
Yeah, I installed it first day out, and the big things that I noticed first was the notification screen. I bring it down, it actually pulls up a lot of better notifications, I guess would say, simply because it operates in a lot cleaner fashion. And you probably see it there. You can see the two lines there. It works a lot. Sorry, notification. That'll be something I'll mention too. I just got a notification. I do like the App Store a lot better now. I will say that. The weather I haven't really used, to be honest. Apparently the maps has gotten better, which I haven't tried that.
Well, I mean, considering the previous iteration of maps would constantly give you wrong directions.
That was really only the first about 2 weeks that was out. They realized what was wrong with it, and they put people to work on it, and they did get it fixed. I think that's one thing that most people don't realize about Apple is that you tell Apple something's wrong, and they're like, "Our bad, let's fix it. We screwed up."
I've been telling them to get rid of that podcast app for 3 years now, Doug.
It's not that bad. I like the podcast app. It's nice. It works. It's clean cut.
But it doesn't work with the home sharing with iTunes, and I can't make playlists. Come on now. That's not so awesome. Anyway.
Who makes playlists of podcasts, man?
Me, so I can see the most recently updated. Although I might not end up listening to my podcast through iTunes anymore anyway, considering it has this nice new feature where if you don't listen to an episode recently, it won't be downloading the show because you haven't been listening to it. So you constantly have to refresh it and go, no, I do really want to listen to this show, that's why I subscribe to it.
Well, if you don't listen to it, why do you subscribe to it?
Because I end up listening to it on Stitcher, because the home sharing on the home network doesn't always work.
Stitcher pisses me off.
Yeah, well.
Stitcher is brought to you by Land Rover. Resuming episode. The fuck? Why is everybody on Stitcher British?
Maybe it's a British company, though. I mean, there are a lot of people in Britain.
This is America, okay?
They'll give you your freedom fries, just relax. So,
well,
alright.
I was going to say, though, Doug, that is one thing I'll give to Google, though, with the Maps thing, is Google Maps is, like, a lot more popular than the Apple Maps.
Oh, yeah, it's been out for, like, 10 years.
I don't know of anybody.
It's been out forever. It has a lot of good backing behind it. That's one of the things that put Google on their app was Google Maps.
Yeah.
Alright. So, yeah. iOS 8, it's a nice update. I mean...
Yeah.
I'm still warming up to it. They put your recent contacts now, whenever you go to close a window, the recent ones appear so you can redial them or whatever. It's like, why... I'm like, do I constantly need everybody to see who I talked to last whenever I... I don't know.
It's easy access to constant contacts. I say, oh shit, forgot to call mom. Click, click, dial.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if they're in your recents anyway, you just have the contacts thing open and go to the recent tab. But it's just one of those things where I understand why they put it there for people that really, really wanted it. But there's still other things where it's like, I think you should have addressed this first, but whatever. Like getting rid of that podcast app, I really hate that thing. Anyway, so
hey,
you wanna...
You know what? This is what I gotta say. When it comes to iOS 8, pretty much everything works except for one thing. One thing on iOS 8 does not work. Not to mention that didn't work before iOS 8 came out. But you know what doesn't work? You know it's actually even worse now than it was before? Facebook.
Fanboy Pride? Oh.
Facebook. Facebook.
Well...
You. Sons of bitches. Facebook locks up if you try to watch a video. Facebook locks up when you try to go down your newsfeed. Facebook locks up when you're trying to change things inside the app. Facebook locks up when you open up Facebook. Facebook locks up when you try to close Facebook. Facebook locks up looking at you. Facebook locks up walking out the door saying bye, see you tomorrow. Facebook locks up, period. Everything about Facebook sucks. Everything about Facebook sucks. The Messenger sucks. The app sucks. It all sucks.
Doug, can I ask you a question? Did you need therapy after that day when Facebook was down, I think, a while ago?
I can understand if Facebook's down. And actually, I wasn't even really a part of that because like I checked my Facebook in the morning and I had to work that day. So I completely missed the entire outage. Everyone was like, oh my god, my Facebook's down. On Twitter, no less. My Facebook's down, and I had to write on Twitter.
Well then, why do you care about the app so much if it was just... It's just Facebook, man.
Because some of the people that I know, I only know through Facebook. I do a lot of... Well,
you don't have any other devices?
Well, even some of my family and friends will only use Facebook. That's the only thing that they use. They don't like Twitter. They don't use Instagram. No, they don't use Google+. Then again, who
are they on the MySpace?
Half the time. And MySpace is a shell of its former self, even though I still have the app. I have no idea why.
Are they on Friendster?
What happened to people calling people? That's what I want to know.
Well, I can't really call my aunt who lives in Lima, and we have absolutely no real way to kind of hang out or anything like that. When you talk about like certain busy lives and whatnot going down, I'm working when X person is off, X person is working when I'm off, and things get muddled and together. And one of the good things about Facebook, which I like, is it gives a better opportunity for events and things to happen and things to be planned better and all this. But it's the usability, the functionality of Facebook has gone drastically downhill in the past year. They just don't care, and that's unfortunate.
Well, when it comes to Facebook on iOS, I prefer to use Flipboard because it'll actually display like the newsfeed as people post things. The only major downfall for it is that the Facebook app would let you list people as, oh, this friend of mine posts a little too much. Only show me their important updates. But that doesn't get filtered down.
That's an important update.
It just doesn't get filtered down. So now, if one person decides, hey, I'm going to flood my feed with pictures of puppies and passages of like a good man does this, or here's some quotes from the Bible, and it just floods the feed. It's like, at least on Facebook proper, you're supposed to be able to label that, don't show all their stuff, I don't need to see that. Show me life events and stuff like that, I'm cool, And it's usually one or two offenders that do that, who overshare. Those people.
I got a couple of them on my feed. I'm just like, why did you feel the need to tell me you're in the bathroom and you heard some guy in the next stall complaining about his girlfriend?
Oh, you're talking about me? I tweeted that. I was in the bathroom and I'm trying to be as quiet as a church mouse, and I hear the guy in the next stall on his cell phone. You okay, love you, baby? Flush. I'm just like, who does that? Who? Like, I don't care what status of a relationship we're in, baby. You don't need to hear me have a movement. It's cool. Just let me know, and I'll wait till after to call you. It's fine.
I'm just the type of person I actually like, because I don't get it where like people have like whole like even political conversations over text and stuff, and it's like I actually like hearing another human voice, I like human to human interaction,
Well, I mean,
in that case, you might enjoy Apple's nice thing called FaceTime.
Are we in the Apple store now?
Doug is just trying to get some of that ad revenue.
Give me the money. I'm one of the few guys that can say I walked into an Apple store and stumped a genius.
Doug, if somebody asked you to get an Apple tattoo for a certain amount of money, would you do it?
Done.
You do it for free.
Done.
He's thinking about doing it.
So, like, what about on your forehead? Would you get the giant apple with the bite taken out of it on your forehead?
Not on the forehead. It has to be tasteful.
Yeah, because remember that woman who got the goldenpalace.com tattoo on her forehead, and the tattoo shop argued with her for 8 hours to tell her, no, look, it's not worth it. Yeah. They're only offering you so many $1,000. She's like, oh, that's like $1 million to me. It's like, no, it's not, honey. It really isn't.
I can pay off my trailer. No, you can't. It's income. Yeah. They'll tax that.
Oh well. So
I do it for a couple cool mil. And they're probably one of two brands I would actually consider doing that, for a simple fact of it's balls to the wall. I'd probably get a tattoo for money for Apple and probably a tattoo for money for Sony. That's about it.
Oh, you wouldn't get it for free. You wouldn't get a WWE logo on you.
Not really, because I'm not really a big fan of the logos, to be honest.
Not really. They don't own my soul that much. Just a little bit. Yeah.
I'm more of a fan.
Seeing a.
Oh my goodness! It can't. Have you seen
the
new logo?
It'd be funny seeing a WWE logo next to an Apple logo. It's like hardcore WWE, and then
or how about one of those combination logos where it's like the Apple logo and then it's got the W and the E on?
Have you seen the new WWE logo?
Nope.
They just
Nope.
rebranded.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track of them really since they couldn't go by the WWF because
Fucking pandas.
well,
Here you go.
pandas aren't
what you
effing.
call
That's
this
why.
episode. That's what you call this episode, the effing panda episode. There you go.
They have to alert us in the news that the pandas haven't done it again this year.
Well, see now those are the old logos. They call it the scratch logo.
Mm.
There you go. It gives a little bit better view. Now the scratch logo.
See, that's another thing. If you want to show us logos and stuff, you don't always have to use an iOS device. You could actually use your computer and show us on screen share.
There you go. That's the new logo. Supposed to look futuristic.
As futuristic as the old WCW logo, with all the shine and the sheen.
Oh my goodness. WCW wrestling.
Yeah, I'll actually show it so we could actually see a quality image of it here.
Oh, give me a sec. Jeez.
Shiny.
I'm already at it.
Crazy diamond. Sorry.
Is this a year, Doug?
Huh?
Is this a year?
That looks like the limousine logo from Homestar Runner. Limousine. Everybody.
What?
You know Homestar Runner, right, Doug?
It has been years.
Well, I hear they're planning a comeback.
Oh, jeez.
They did that April Fool's episode, and I hear they're working on more. So,
See, I've actually never used screen share before.
Yeah, it's amazing. You could share a person's screen.
I've never. There it is, screen share. How about we go desktop? Schnackles.
look
Okay, how
at
about that?
all that infinity.
Infinity and beyond. That's
Yeah,
the
Kyle and his wife said that at their at the end of the wedding ceremony. He's like, to infinity, and then she went to and beyond. Like, oh.
See that new logo?
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to look all futuristic like.
I like how it says forever. Like they won't change it in another 20 years when another font becomes prevalent.
That's the gimmick they're running now. Then, now, forever. That's kind of the thing.
All right.
But
They
now we've
even got
totally
it.
drifted away from the news.
Yeah, I was gonna
story.
say, can we try to move on to an article here?
No,
News story dos.
brother.
Oh,
As long as you give me some of that sweet weed, brother.
I'll see you in the ring. See you guys in the ring soon. All right.
All right.
Okay, this next article is about a next-gen USB gives HDMI rival a piggyback ride.
Oh, the display port. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Never heard about that.
It says next-gen version of the USB connector due to arrive in 2015 reshaped the port and cable jack that plugs into it. The biggest difference, the new Type-C cable will plug in either side up. It'll run either direction, and it'll be good for either PCs or slim smartphones.
So it'll be like the
Monday
lightning
through the-
port on the Apple, like, what is it, Lightning and Thunderbolt or like that? So you can,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it has to be up or down. Although that does
Yeah,
make me
it
a little
says-
concerned for reverse compatibility.
Well, actually, I think it goes into that. It says on Monday, through the Video Electronics Standards Association announced
another change, monitors equipped with DisplayPort will also be able to use the Type-C cable. The technology is called DisplayPort Alternate Mode and will work with either new or old DisplayPort devices.
That's good. I think my tower uses a mini DisplayPort in. I don't know what the cinema display uses. It's been a while since I looked back there. Still, that's good.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It says a USB Type-C connector and cable will deliver full DisplayPort audio, video performance, driving monitor resolutions of 4K and beyond, super speed USB and USB 3.1 data, and up to 100 watts of power over a single cable.
That's going to be very hard pressed still to compete with the new HDMI standard that's going to be coming out. What it does, it's like a HDMI 2.0. It's like a freaking hardcore version of HDMI.
What doesn't some HDMIs, can't they do like internet too through them somehow or something?
I know
I'm actually looking that up right now.
DisplayPort has really been like neck and neck with HDMI, and like they've been leaving all other kinds of connection, like composite and S-video and all that stuff, and like I would hate to have to go to a VGA monitor now.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Like, I don't know, since I don't have a 3.0, USB port right now, I don't know how the 3.1's gonna go. Like, I know that with 3.0 you can it's backwards compatible, but I don't know what, because I've got the mini display port on the back of the tower. I don't know.
Right. You don't have a USB 3.0? That sucks.
No, because this thing's from 2008, my brother.
Yeah, my Mac Mini's got 3.0, and oh, trust me, I can so tell you the difference between the two. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between USB 2.0 and FireWire. I have FireWire ports, and I had one FireWire drive, and it was a noticeable difference. But they didn't make that many, other devices that could use that port. And it's like, why? It's just USB was more prevalent, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, oh yeah, did you look up to see does HDMI support Ethernet through it or something?
HDMI 2.0 is a successor to HDMI. HDMI 1.4 can support 4K resolutions, but only about 24 to 30 frames per second, depending. Most TV broadcasts require 50 or 60 frames per second. 2.0 can handle 32 channels of uncompressed audio. Holy shit. That is overkill. That's insane.
Until it becomes, this only supports 32? I wanted like 119, man.
Well, it says here in the article that it supports internet on television direct.
Yeah.
And even that's from last year. The newest HDMI standard information is just freaking insane.
Crazy.
Well, my one general thought I have about the just connectors in general, I like what Chris Perola said. And it's true. It happens. It's like with USB, especially the mini ones, it's like you go to try to plug it in, it doesn't fit one way, you try to fit it in the other way, that doesn't work, and then you end up flipping it back and forth a couple times, and it's such a pain in the ass,
Well, I mean, I like the Lightning and Thunderbolt connectors that I've seen so far. My only issue with it, when I got my iPhone and then the iPad, it's like I managed to get a dock for a little adapter for my 30-pin, iPhone dock, because the old 30-pin was a huge one, and now the Lightning is really thin and can go either way, but it's just a little sliver thing on top of this huge adapter, and it rocks back and forth. Like it's a nice thing if you're just plugging a wire straight into it, but if you're trying to sit it on a dock, it's always, let me line up this little bitty hole And no, bent it. Hold on, because I did buy a dock for it, and it still broke. So yeah.
Well, it's like when you're trying to plug something in, you want to make sure it's. I like the simpler designs where it could go upside down or not, because it's like when you're trying to plug something in without looking at it, you're sort of like a kid almost in a way, where it's like you want to have simple shapes to plug into the holes, you know, like those toys kids would have, you know.
Yep.
All right, I've looked up the HDMI Wikipedia page. HDMI 2.0 supports above 1.4 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, REC 2020 color space support, a 4220 YCBCR support, which is freaking insane, 32 channel audio, know that, 1536 kilohertz audio support, 4 audio stream support, dual view video screen, and also 21:9 aspect ratio.
Oh, yeah, I hear about that. A lot of people are into that now, that 21:9, those super wide monitors.
Yeah.
I saw David DeFranco did a review on it.
I'm not the biggest fan of those, but you know what? I mean, for people who may need them, you're just like, how?
It's supposed to be really good for games.
Yeah. Have you actually noticed that the curved LEDs that were running UHD are now starting to filter into stores? There's a Samsung model here in Mansfield that you can get at Best Buy for about $1,700. It's on sale.
Yeah, well, Best Buy's they've
Damn,
had the curved TVs for a little while now. At least here.
Everyone's asking about them for us now, and I'm like, no, they're so not affordable yet. Not even close.
Yeah, you guys don't do like the high-end stuff really at Walmart, do you?
It depends. I mean, if it can be affordable to the consumer, our company will buy it and push it. Like 3D TVs, they were, getting lower in price, and they're like, well, we'll go ahead and piggyback on that for a little while, and then it sold for about 2 years, and I called it. I told everyone, I was like, this is not going to be as supported in 5 years. 5 years, 3D will essentially be dead. And you look at it now, I mean, we had a section of 3D movies that sat, just collected dust for almost a year. Mostly because, number one, the 3D TVs were still insanely expensive for the most part. Number two, the 3D Blu-ray players that you had to buy were still over $100, and people still aren't really too interested in paying over $100 for a Blu-ray player. And number three, the 3D standard wasn't supported universally. I mean, there's an LG TV out there that'll actually transform your image 2D to 3D, but it's using the conversion software on the television, so it's not true 3D. So,
right, but I'm saying Walmart's market, they're not for the latest and greatest. They sort of wait for it to be more affordable and trickle down.
Like I said, it depends. Even if it's super expensive, sometimes Walmart will, kind of dip into it a little bit, because we still want to pull in a high dollar consumer from time to time. It's just that you can't, and the company's got a really good attitude about it. It's like, we understand people want the higher level electronics, but you also have to understand that it's a calculated risk every time you pay X million amount of dollars for product. They go with what they think is going to hit, and hit hard, especially this time of year.
Yeah. It depends on what is popular, too. Like, of course they're going to do the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, I mean...
Well, those are guaranteed hits.
Mainstream.
Yeah, those are guaranteed hits. When you take a look at gaming consoles, and that's a number one, gaming consoles will hit. 9 times out of 10, and the 10th one being the Wii U, a gaming console will hit the street and then sell out, and then you have a bunch of accompanying accessories and video games to sell along with it. You have the main unit, which you're not making any money on, and then you have your accompanying units, which you will make a profit on. So, It works hand in hand.
Right. Well, I'd say.
All right, so
I'd say let's get on to the next article. Otherwise, the news
The
section
next
is going
news
to be our whole
story.
show.
you can tell
this
it's
one is
starting to drag when Ian
Wait.
wants to move along to the next story.
Wait, what's that new one? Hulk Hogan gets some of that sweet weed. Yeah.
Tell you what, brother. I shouldn't have that sushi, but I'll still put you in a suplex.
Brother.
This one I tried to glaze over this one. It seemed interesting. This one is about NVIDIA's new GPU proves moon landing truthers wrong, and you can see the pictures here. I guess the basis of it is they try to do like some kind of like simulations and light simulations on 3D models and stuff in a scene, and I guess that they somehow proved that the moon soil could still reflect this same amount of light that was in the pictures using like global illumination lighting.
They had I guess they had a
Comparison of Buzz climbing up on the ship, Doug, do you know any truthers?
Way too many.
Really?
Did you know that we never? I know so many.
I saw
conspiracy-
recently. Recently that like 25% of Americans believe we didn't land on the moon. It's a pretty high
There's
percentage to not believe the main selling point of the country in our historical accomplishments.
Hey Ben,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's because those people are stupid.
Well, stupid never dies, Doug. It just waits and waits.
Stupid is as stupid does, right?
Stupid don't die; they multiply.
We've all seen Idiocracy, right?
Hmm.
We've all seen Idiocracy, right?
We like babies, kids.
Yeah.
We don't die; we multiply.
But
Just
this article, it's very long and technical, and I mean that's even for me, who's someone who is into 3D and renderings and stuff and lighting. They show. I read briefly on here. They showed how the reflection off this. One of the spacemen was able to the light reflecting off of him that could actually bounce onto the ship and stuff, and bounce onto other people. So it was just the research into how the lighting conditions and bouncing and stuff, light bounce,
So, wait, they managed to lighten and see how light works on the moon. So, did they manage to look into the dark side of the moon and see the Decepticons?
Maybe that's round 2 here for doing simulations for that.
did they happen to find the dark side of the moon and find Pink Floyd there?
No, but they did find those moon Nazis from Iron Sky. Thank you.
Moon
We'll be here all week. Alright.
I'll be right back.
Are they going to join up with the Nazis from the center of the Earth?
Oh, I hope not. That movie was so terrible. That movie. Like, I'm a bad movie aficionado, and even I'm like, there's no way. No. I mean, I don't know. That movie, man, it seemed every time I was just about to go, I'm just going to turn this off, they'd pull something out and I go, well, I got to see where this goes now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's a cool
What do you-
story, Ian.
Yeah. I mean, how do you think it is possible for people to actually believe that that we didn't actually go to the moon? Just like there is still flat Earthians out there,
Yeah, the Flat Earth Society, those kind of people. Well, just like, people think that, people would rather not accept things. I mean, that's why we have people that are 9/11 truthers that want to sit and go, "Oh, the chemical analysis proves that this was an implosion rather than caused by a plane hitting." A bunch of stupid stuff. It's just that people like to sound smart, and B, people don't like to believe things that they're expected to believe, and they want to try. There's some things that people can't wrap their head around, like that we in the '60s managed to get a man on the moon. They're like, how are we that? We aren't that smart. That doesn't make sense. There are people that will talk themselves and convince themselves of anything. So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's a matter of where the thinking comes into your thought. Like if someone tells you something and you immediately go to, well, that's a lie because this and that, obviously, and this and that, rather than letting somebody explain it first.
Right. Well, without getting too political, out of all of the conspiracy theories that you've heard in your life, what do you think is like the most doable that you could see? Like, I know JFK is probably the most popular in the world. I don't know.
Well, there's so many different speculations, and it's a lot of odd coincidences and conveniences. That Oswald was murdered shortly after being arrested, and then his killer died of cancer in prison and all this stuff shortly after too. It's like it seemed like a big conspiracy. A lot of people were like, well, how can one guy hit a moving caravan, and one guy, one lone gunman take out a president? It's like, well, it happened.
It was a Decepticon. Come on.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
What about you, Doug? Is there anything that you could see as far as conspiracy theories go? I could maybe see that.
I'm a big believer that Richard Nixon really did cross Black Dynamite, and Black Dynamite whipped his ass.
Yes, well, talking to Tricky Dick. Anyway.
Hey, just remember, Anaconda malt liquor gives you the ooh. You have to see Black Dynamite.
Well,
yeah, buddy.
Okay, so I mean, I recall some truthers were saying, oh, you ran this Photoshop filter on the moon landing photos, and all of a sudden the or like Mars rocks, I think it was. They were like, you ran the filter on Mars, and oh, hey, it's just Arizona tinted red. And they're like, no, you're doing the filter wrong, because remember, a filter will only take in and change what you give it. It's not a smart thing. It's just a tool, so...
Yeah,
oh, well.
Me, I'm not really a conspiracy theory type of guy. I have one simple thought process when it comes to that. This is what it is.
See, growing up... Okay, go ahead.
My manifesto is this. Do I believe that the government doesn't tell us everything? You're damn right. But you know what? Sometimes the stuff you don't know, the stuff that saves your life from knowing and then getting yourself into a bunch more trouble. I mean, if everybody got the answers that they wanted, our society would be much more disposable even than what it is now. There's no point to wasting your life over something that you have no control over.
Yeah.
10 of 1 says anything that they hide, and once it gets blown out into the public, it's probably going to come out after we all die.
Well, I mean, Mark Twain came out, his autobiography 100 years after he died. So, I don't know. Growing up, like, my mom always watched the X-Files, and she liked, conspiracy stories for, like, their, quirkiness and kind of oddity, but, there's a level of, like, oh, that'd be cool, like, a what-if scenario, but it didn't happen. But then there's some people that, like, they believe the crazy stuff, and it's like, oh, no. That's alright. It's like how Ian and I were talking about ghosts, ghost hunting programs and stuff. It's like, oh, ghosts and stuff like that would be kind of cool if they existed, but probably they don't. So.
Yeah. Well, I find it funny though. Like, Nate, he's sort of religious. You know, Nate, I had on the show on the last episode. He he's religious, I guess, but it's like he doesn't believe that, because I think he's Christian, but he doesn't believe that there's ghosts, but he believes that if there is like paranormal stuff going on, it has to be.
He believes
demon,
in spirits, right? Oh, spirits and demons.
No, no, he does.
Demons?
Well, he doesn't believe in spirits. He says that there is no spirits. Like when a person dies, they just move on to either heaven or hell. There's no like, you can't have a ghost roaming around, and if there's weird stuff happening, it has to be a demon.
Well, I mean, spirits don't have to be people and souls. They can just be, the equivalent of a demon in a good context, or just a benevolent,
Hold up.
benevolent.
Everyone knows that when you die, you have to go take a number, go see your caseworker, possibly Fortuno, and then you have to serve so many years on Earth as a ghost. Ask Alec Baldwin.
Right, but he said that if there's a ghost that appears like they're a kid or something, that it's a demon trying to trick you into thinking it's something else.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever you start going, well, of course this happened, it's just like the people that say, oh, of course there's fossil evidence that the Earth is billions of years old. That's just the devil trying to trick you into not believing that the world is only 6,000 years old. It's like, oh, shut up, back up. Stop. When you have to fold your own logic in on itself to explain things, just quit. Just go into your corner. It's okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I could probably be open to the idea that there's maybe some kind of energy or spirits or something. I don't know, but just to say that it's immediately just all demons and it's all evil, I don't know.
Well, that's because
That's
he's
true.
zeroed in on he wants to have a reason why bad things happen to good people, which is totally a valid reason to believe something like that. He has his reasons. He was taught that that obviously a bad thing happened or that person did something bad. Some people would just say, oh, that person did something bad in a past life and they're paying for it now, or it's all into how people want to interpret that kind of stuff. I kind of look at it like the guys in South Park did, where it's like, do you really want to believe that your dead family members are just walking around trying to talk to you? I don't know. Doesn't make too much sense to me, but I don't know.
Well, if they are, then they have to be demons, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, my mom had a friend of hers from work recently who she had, yellow jackets in her house, and she called her friend to ask what that means. Like, oh, it's some sort of good omen. She's like, she's supposed to be a Christian woman. She's asking what it means to have yellow jackets. I'm like, I think it means you probably got a problem with a nest in your house. I don't know. Alright, so, our next news story.
Yeah, we're inching away here. This next news article, which Doug will probably want to jump in here about, is PlayStation TV launches October 14th in U.S. and Canada. You want to talk about that, Doug?
Oh, the PlayStation TV or the Vita TV is probably the best thing that I want from Sony that I'll probably never own, to be honest.
Why?
I don't have the money for it, to be honest.
How much is it going to be?
It's going to be $99 for just the unit, or $140 for a bundle that comes with a controller and a free game.
You bought a PlayStation 4, but you can't afford that.
I saved up for 4 months to get my PS4. I had the shizzle planned. I don't have my second job anymore, so I can't afford the extra stuff. The PlayStation TV is nice for a couple reasons. It's not going to appeal to everybody. It's not going to be a big seller. I don't expect it to be a big seller. It's It's more for versatility than anything else. People who were complaining that they couldn't play their Vita games on their television because the Vita doesn't have a video out port, whereas the PSP did. The PlayStation TV offers that capability to play some of those games. Also, I mean, to do PlayStation Now, Remote Play PS4, I mean, the functionality is fantastic, and I think that article said 700 titles day one. There's nothing out there that can match 700 titles day one to play. You can download PSP titles, I believe, onto that thing too. So if you want to go old school, you can do that. It's got a lot of versatility. I think you can do PlayStation Now on that as well. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they said PlayStation Now. So it offers a lot of versatility as far as a second option, especially like if you're in one room and someone's watching TV where your PS4 normally is, and you want to play from PlayStation. Boom, PlayStation TV. By now, you're playing.
Yeah.
It
includes a DualShock 3 controller, 6 gigabytes of memory card, and
it takes
a Lego Movie video game.
It comes with, I guess.
Yeah. It takes Vita cartridges. Also, I believe it takes Vita memory cards as well. I could be wrong, but it's more of a versatility tool for gamers. That's part of the reason why I don't think it's going to sell that. It's like extreme. That's why I'm not pushing it. It's going to basically attempt to sell itself on its versatility alone, which, I mean, to a lot of gamers that may be a cop out and maybe a double dip, but some people have been asking for something like this for a long time. And it's nice that we actually get something that Japan gets. I mean, when the PSX came out, I was tripping balls, dude. I was like, we need the PSX here. We need the PSX. It was back when having all those extra functions was really something huge, and they never released it here. And I was like, damn it. And I saw the Vita TV, and I was like, that's something that can be used for a multi-room house. And lo and behold, we actually get it. So it's
what's the main reason you won't ever get it, though? I mean, if you can't afford it now, that's fine. But I mean,
probably the reason why I won't ever get it is because, number one, I don't have that type of need that most gamers have to play a portable on my TV. I can't afford PlayStation Now, and nobody comes into my office to play my video games. I mean, most of the reasons why somebody would have a PlayStation TV, I don't fit that mold. I don't fit the mold of someone who would have a PlayStation TV. Maybe if I came across one, I'd be open to having it and having the ability to play certain games if I'm not in my office. But it's just I don't fit the mold that Sony has for the user of a PlayStation TV. It's a fantastic option. It's a secondary option if you have XYZ person in the home, you don't want to drop $200 on a Vita, blah blah blah. But to someone like me who is already, I've had my Vita since launch week, I've had my PS4 since launch week. I'm the only person who uses both devices in my home. I have my roommate. She has a PSP and she loves it. I've got 2 PSPs along with my Vita, and I'm the only person who plays anything on the PS4. That's probably going to change when Final Fantasy 15 and also Kingdom Hearts 3 come out, because my wife is going to be like, whoa! But I don't fit the mold. I really don't fit the mold.
Well, what about you, Ben? That sounds like something that might be up your alley, because you're into the little boxes and stuff,
Little boxes. I listened to a podcast with a guy who got one of those when he had to import it from Japan, and his main issue with it was that he had to get all the stuff from Japan, like the Japanese version of the PlayStation games and stuff, and it was a nice novelty for guys like that. I I don't know. Since I don't have a PS4, I kind of don't. I'd have to sink into that first. So
You think
I
so?
think it's a nice. I don't know. I think I'm not much of a console gamer these days anyway. I'd rather I look forward to what the next couple iterations of the Steam box bring out more so than the PS TV. Although it's a nice thing that's out there. I hope it does well because it can only mean good things for other consoles and other devices down the road.
Well, I mean, so you don't really play many games then on your big plasma there, huh?
No, I mean I've got the PlayStation 2 and the old Super Nintendo hooked up in there, and I've got the Ouya, which is nice.
Right.
It just doesn't have a lot of stuff. And then upstairs we've got the Wii hooked up to the little TV because my mom wanted to use it for exercising. At least that's what she tells herself. So. How about you, Ian? Do you think yourself in the prime demographic to get yourself a PlayStation TV?
I've also got the spec list right here too, if you want it. Sorry.
Well, that's fine. I don't know. I mean, maybe if I were to, well, here's a question: it says TV, but I mean, do you get like free channels on it then, or what? I mean,
you
do you need
should be able. I'm looking at the Wikipedia
Is it
for
like a Netflix thing? Do you have to pay every month or something, or is that just they just call it that because you hook it up to your TV?
Yeah, that's really it. Because in Japan they call it the PS Vita TV, so it's.
Oh, okay.
It's not really meant to be like a streaming box specifically, from what I understand. It's more meant to be
An accessory for your PS4.
hub. I mean, you might be able to do stuff like Netflix, because I can do Netflix through my Vita. I think I can do Hulu through my Vita as well. I think eventually the stuff like WWE Network will eventually come through. Crap. Sorry. Hulu, Nico, yeah, and also PlayStation Store. So you will be able to do some streaming stuff. Have you ever used Nico, by the way, or have you ever heard of it?
No, I've never heard of it.
Nico is more of a... It's weird. The only thing I really say about it is weird, because I downloaded it because it was free, of course. And it's like a Japanese Skype service, and it is so just off. I mean, some of the chats, they're all in Japanese. And you're just
Is it like
watching.
Snapchat?
It's not like Snapchat. It's almost like the Google Hangouts, but it does them in such a way that you're just kind of left scratching your head a little bit. It's just weird. That's the best thing I can say. It's just weird. It's like Google Hangouts on Chibi. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the way I can explain it. But anyways, jumping from the point. The specs is a quad-core ARM Cortex A9 CPU, 512 megabytes of RAM, 126 megabytes of VRAM, gig of internal storage, which of course expandable via PS Vita memory card. Which, if anybody's out there watching this who's thinking of buying a Vita or a PlayStation TV, buy the memory cards used. Trust me, insanely expensive, brand new. Runs HDMI out, only runs at 720p, but if you're playing stuff like Vita games and PSP games, you really need 1080p. Quad-core PowerVR SG X5 43 MP4 Plus graphics card, which is nice. You can use the DualShock 3, the DualShock 4, or the PlayStation Vita as a controller. So, that's nice.
Right.
It's nice.
I guess for me, it sounds like it'd be something more like, I mean, I would be really appreciative if I were to get that as a gift from somebody, but I don't know if I would go and seek it out as to buy it personally.
I can see that.
I would definitely use it, but
it's
like
I said, it's not for everyone. That's why I don't think it's really gonna pop when it comes out. I mean, number one, they're not really pushing it heavily, which is a good thing because they really need to be focusing a lot of their energy on the PS4 and to a lesser extent the Vita. But it's going to be one of those devices that it's going to be a good device. It's going to have an install base, but not a heavy install base. It's going to be okay. Okay. it will. It just might eclipse the Wii U. Maybe.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, I guess we can move on to the next. Well, before we do that, I actually wanted to ask Doug something, because I've been looking at his shirt for so long. Yeah, I see you got the Deadpool character on his shirt. Are you good? Did you...
It's Deadpool-Aid.
Yeah.
Okay, get it?
Yeah.
Get it?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Bang, 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 bang.
Well, did you watch the leaked footage or whatever?
Yes, I did.
That? What are your thoughts
Freaking
on that?
insane. Oh, my God. The sucky thing, though, is they've greenlit the movie. It's going to come out in February 2016, but the rumor is they're going to try to make it PG-13. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Yeah. Now you know how I feel.
Yeah, when your movie is about a guy who kills people, let's make it PG-13 for the kids.
Yeah, no.
That's just stupid.
So we're gonna...
Hold on.
You're gonna have what is that called when you cut somebody with a sword and there's not much blood coming out? That's like the dry cuts. That's probably what it's gonna be.
This might be the closest we ever get right here. You ever played this game?
No.
You need to play this game.
I've seen Let's Plays of it. It's pretty funny.
Dude, okay. Honestly, this is not set the world on fire. This is not a high quality game. But when it came out, it was put out as a value game. When Deadpool says, "This is what awesome looks like," me, on the front, on the back it says, "Here's why you need my game. Insane action combo skills capture all my good sides. Loads of X-Men cameos, hotties included. Katanas and guns and bear traps, oh my." When Deadpool says buy my game, you really don't have much of a choice. Especially when the disc is pancake. Pancake.
Yeah.
Don't deny the pancake.
Right.
Unless you're a
I don't know,
waffle
I mean...
guy.
I've tried to like Deadpool's character. It's just like it seems like all of his corny jokes never really made me laugh, you know.
Well, the thing is, Deadpool's a dick. He's a dick because he's insane, and you get that. That's kind of his thing. He's completely self-centered because he has multiple voices in his head, and that's part of the reason why he's so funny, because he has no filter. No filter at all. There's actually a fan-made movie out there, like about 17 minutes long, I think. And the guy who's playing Deadpool looks at Domino and says, "Can I motorboat you?" And it's like, that's Deadpool for you. He would do that.
What about you, Ben? Are you a Deadpool fan?
I'm not a huge fan of any comic book characters, honestly. I mean, he seems alright from everything I've seen. You know, people tell stories like, "Oh yeah, in this one, there's this one where he's feeding Wolverine slices of himself to keep him alive," and you know, this and that. He's amusing. He's basically like He's basically like an assassin comic book Bugs Bunny.
Whenever you have a guy that says, after you cut off his arm, "Hey, can you lend me a hand?" "Oh, never mind, I'll go get it myself." That's funny. You know?
I don't know. So,
I don't know.
on to the next news story.
Yes.
Ian wants to tell us about rudest drivers.
Yeah, this one's another best and least states type thing. I like looking at these news articles about which states are. Let's see what states are gonna be on this list. You know, I always find it interesting. You know.
Now, why are drivers rude in Alaska? I mean, like, really, there's probably like 2 roads. I mean, I guess if if your car breaks down and you stand a chance of dying, I guess I could understand being rude, but you want to be nice to each other?
Yeah, I don't know why they're the rudest. I mean, maybe we'll read it when we look at it in the description here. But as you can see, Ohio here, we're, as usual in a lot of these articles I've read off, we're pretty lukewarm on the list there, in the middle ground there, It's we're a little bit bad, but not terrible, I guess, What about you, Ben? Do you see a lot of mean drivers on the road close to your house?
No, not in my area. I mean, it depends on, like, if stuff gets bumper to bumper. 'Cause that's when people really get pissy. So, like, if you're down at, like, Columbus or up in Cleveland, you see that more. So, overall, I'd say we're not that bad compared to, like, other states. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see some people, like my dad, it's just as bad, like, with football, It's like, you just hear, it's funny to hear people just shouting and swearing. They get so angry, like, when somebody cuts them off, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, it's the areas where people do the cutoffs, that when you're on a highway where you get that more often than nothing, it's like when we drove through Chicago on our 4th of July, like, there was like 4 or 5 lanes, and we didn't have time to worry about people, cutting us off or anything. We had more time, like, which lane should we be in? Okay, we should be in this one. Let's be in this one. Okay, let's be in that one. Okay. Is this our exit? No, that's our exit. Okay. So.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so the number 10 is Utah. 9 is Nevada. 8 is New Jersey.
Sliding home. Yeah, I would expect New Jersey to be pretty bad, just like New York,
Hey.
It wasn't too bad when I was there back in, like, 07. But then again, it all is just, like, long highway stretch, just whatever.
Yeah. Delaware is number 6. Okay. I don't know why they have Vermont on the list. Massachusetts,
Which I would think Massachusetts wouldn't be that bad. I guess.
Probably depends on what area, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Delaware slowing down for no one. Vermont, Wyoming, The Cowboy Chronicles.
Now, see, New York makes sense
New-
because you're basically not driving in that state. It's like, you might as well just get out and walk. At least in Manhattan.
New York, beware the bag of donuts.
Donut.
Donuts.
District of Columbia, self-serving. Yeah, it says when asked what happens, when asked what makes them most mad about other drivers, people said talking on a cell phone while driving, 47%, tailgating, 37%, not signaling turns, 35%, weaving in and out of lanes, 28%, driving it too fast like every road is a highway, 26%.
But then Idaho. Huh.
Yeah, Idaho.
Now, you figure a place like California or New York would be more so than Idaho, but I guess...
Yeah.
Those damn potatoes.
Yeah, it says The quote is, "Maybe I'm just used to the aggressive, overly caffeinated on Diet Coke Utah drivers. That's why everyone in Idaho seems to be driving so slowly," he says. Stubbs observes the Idahoans feel just fine taking their time driving 5 to 10 miles an hour under the limit.
Oh, that would piss me off so much.
Yeah, my dad likes to say people around here drive like they're at Cedar Point. Which, where am I? Should I be turning here? I don't know. I'm going to drive under the limit. And then just turn right in front of you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It says the method for the survey methodology. It says Insure.com commissioned a survey of 2,000 licensed drivers, half women, half men, with respondents representing all areas of the country according to census population data. The state rankings were calculated using a ratio of nationwide votes for drivers of the state divided by the number of respondents from the state. The survey was fielded in July of 2014.
Kitty drivers are very rude. You're right, kitty cat. Like Toonces, he is a very rude driver. Toonces, the cat who could drive a car. Ah.
Yeah, it says Ohio's 24 on the list.
Coming in at almost dead center. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah! That's us. Mediocre.
Yeah. Alaska didn't make the top 10 then. It was 11 though. It almost was. Pretty bad too. The least worst drivers of the top 10 are North Dakota, Maine, New Hampshire, Montana, Minnesota, Oregon, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Washington, North Carolina, South Carolina, and South Dakota.
See, the Dakotas, there's like 5 people, so flatland. Flatland,
Yeah.
couple cows.
Well, we drove through there, man. I told you. We drove for like 3 or 4 hours and didn't see anybody. You're like, I see a tractor just sitting out there. Is there no farmer working with it? It's just fields of nothing. It's kind of depressing.
Fields of
Not even cows. We barely saw any cows on the trip. It's just big fields of like wheat. It was weird.
Well, well, if you want to get, I had a question for you, man. Before you wanted to get into a little bit of the survey, and then we'll get into the trivia, or about the servers and stuff. I mean, not survey.
Okay.
We'll talk about. You said you want to talk about servers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for you. How would you hook up a phone or a tablet to the microphone input of your computer? Wouldn't you just use like a male-to-male, just regular 3.5 millimeter jack, or do you need a special microphone cable for that? Because I tried doing that and it worked, but I was getting some weird, like a bumper, like some weird. It would be like a constant bump. It'd be like a heart rate or something almost, It was weird, and I had to actually manually switch my phone to the headphone input because I guess it wasn't recognizing it because it wasn't drawing power from the phone since it was hooked up to the computer and it had its own power. So I guess you call that phantom power or whatever. I don't know, but it didn't seem to work out too well.
Well, it's a matter of
How would
like,
you do it?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like, if it depends on what you're trying to do with it. Are you trying to just record something with the tablet and then, or use your tablet as a microphone, or because usually I would just I would just record onto the device. I was just trying to. Go ahead.
Right. No, I mean the main purpose was I figured it'd be easier if I use a custom soundboard app for the show, and I thought that it'd be nice since I got a nice new tablet. I made a custom
soundboard for it, that worked out fine. But when I was trying to pipe the sound going from that to the computer, it would work, but I would get these like occasional bumps or like a beep or something going through it. It was weird. I thought isn't the mic connection like the pink jack and the green jack for the input and output, isn't it the same? Isn't it just a 3.5 millimeter jack? You know,
something like that. Well, you know, you always run the risk of, like, with the jacks, like what the power's outputting. You know, it could be outputting a surge, or, like, you know, I mean, you can get interference from your cell phone when it's searching for a tower. You know, you get that you know, that noise. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, just plugging, you know, headphone jacks into things, it's kind of hit or miss about whether or not it would work properly. Like, if you're trying to get the sound effects into the computer, I mean, if you get like a USB, like the old Logitech headphones that I had, they had a USB little adapter that it would have a mic and a headphone jack in, and that would plug into a USB port, and that would probably get around the interference of whatever's...
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I might have to do that. I just thought it'd be easier instead of having to alt tab into another window and double click on the sound effect every time I wanted to play a buzzer or a dong for the trivia. You know, you just touch it on the soundboard. That's easy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I understand the idea of that. It's just, you know, with electrical stuff, there's always the risk of interference, something or another. So a USB thing might work. I mean, you can look online and see if anybody's selling theirs. I've got mine.
I know what you're talking about.
Nice.
In fact, let me see if I could find it on my
wish list here, because I have it under audio. You were
I've got one right
Amazon.
here.
Yeah, here it is.
Is this what you're talking about here, Ben?
Something like this.
Stereo,
audio adapter.
Yeah, that one's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that would probably take out the interference aspect of it. But I don't know. I mean, it might just be you might have a bad cable that's just picking something up. If you might want to switch out a different input or output plug.
Well, I used a regular, like a black cable, the generic one, and then I used I used an actual gold-plated cable that I had. That was it's a thicker cable and it's all gold-plated on both ends. So it was the same way. So I don't. And I tried this. I did this on both my phone and a new tablet, and it was acting the same way. So I don't know if it was the connection on my computer or what. That's almost what it sounds like, but I don't know. I'll have to try this eventually, because I physically looked at the cables, like a mic cable and then a regular, headphone cable, and they look the same. It has the same amount of stripes on or poles on the connector or whatever. I think they call those. There's like a pole for the ground, and then the left and right channel that's on the sleeves of the plug or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I've done that stuff with different things, and when you start plugging all kinds of different little things in, you have cables everywhere, and you gotta make sure, like, okay, this can't be next to this thing, or else it'll feed back off of it, and this requires a battery, so it requires power, but this one requires a powered hub, so it can draw power from this thing. That's hardware for you, man.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I'll have to see if this will work maybe in the future, but I just thought it'd be easier for the show. I would be able to be more responsive, with the sound effects. Maybe we could have more fun with it. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I'd think about that too. Because I've looked into apps like that, but it's like I'd have to plug the headphone into the microphone jack. The microphone jack's in the back of mine, and it's a little bent, a little weird from where I had a thing to stretch out the, to hooked up to a cable to pull it around. So it's like if you kind of wiggle it, it crackles. So I don't use that too often. So I mostly stick to USB inputs these days.
Right. I would definitely agree with that. That's a good idea, but
You got
Anyways,
any
moving on
put
from
on this, Doug? You got any suggestions?
Yeah, you have a. Yeah, he's probably got it. He's like, I know the perfect solution for that.
First off, buy a
You
Mac.
work in
Second,
electronics in Walmart. Yeah, what if I went into you with this problem into Walmart? What are you gonna tell me, Doug? What do I buy here? How am I gonna give you money here?
It might be just be like what Ben said. It might be a compatibility issue. It might just be a hardware issue. I know some devices don't have the same type of compatibility as others do. It just really depends. There are some headsets that you just pop it right in, and it just works. You know, that's not even just Apple stuff. It's just like regular everyday headphone jacks that also do the little button for the microphone. So it could be pretty much anything possible.
Well, because like I said, I noticed when I plug it into the phone or tablet to the computer, it doesn't recognize that there's a headphone plugged in, so it just keeps the sound on the external speakers, you know. And I actually had to download an app that forces you to switch from the speakers to the headphone mode, you know. And I think that's because it's not like if you plug in headphones into your iPod or whatever or your iPhone, the headphones actually draw power from the battery, you know. But if you're piping it into an external source that is powered by itself, you know.
Well, I mean, some people have tried plugging in like blue microphones into their iPads and stuff, and it's like they have to have a powered USB hub in order to do that because it draws phantom power, and the iPad doesn't have enough power to do that. So, but they make it work. So, all right.
Adventures in audio.
Imagine that.
I'll figure it out. I was just trying to get your take on it, I guess. I guess we could move on to problems with audio to problems with servers, I guess. How has that been going for you, Ben? I mean, you were trying to find you guys, the whole problem was, to explain to Doug with you, was that you wanted you and your brother to be able to share a folder over the internet somewhere where it's not like a cloud or Dropbox thing. You want something a little bit more easy.
We just want I just wanted to be able to like have his computer mount a directory on mine and mine to mount one on his. But every time I looked something up, it would always be like, okay, you have to go into the terminal, and then you have to, share through either SMB or this other thing, and it was a lot of fiddly stuff, and like they only ever half explained it in any of the instructions because they just assumed, oh, if you're doing this, then you know how to, sudo into the terminal. It's like, I'm very, so I've looked into a number of options because I don't want to do something like Dropbox where you upload your stuff and then they download it from this third party. I wanted him to just be able to access what I had, and I found one app on the Mac App Store from 2012, and it's like, that's kind of, I don't know if they're still around and doing anything. And then I found this free app recently, HFS, which is a HTTP file server. It's a free app. It's not even a freeware. It's a free program, is what they say, and it's for Windows. But if you're on a Mac, you can get it running very quickly within either Crossover, what's that Mac gaming program? I play on Mac or Wine. I got it running in a wrapper, so it doesn't even have to load Wine. It's just like an app, basically, a little quick port, and it's a simple exe file which loads a server onto your computer, and you can configure password protection of different directories, or you can make users, so that way you can, if you have multiple people wanting to grab files from you, somebody wanting, your audio you share with them, or you have a collection of videos you want to share with your family, stuff like that. And I found some templates for it that let you like load previews so that you can see, is this the thing I think it is? Okay. And since it's an HTTP file share, you can put things like websites, and I'm trying to get a forum thing running on it, because the one I saw on the Mac App Store from 2012 had a the Windows version of it had a form. The Mac version didn't, but
that's one thing I'm trying to run on. Like, I'm thinking about using my Power Mac for, since I'm not using it for my basic computing anymore, because that was initially going to be it. I mean, when I purchased it. Now I'm like, well, maybe I want to run it on. Maybe I want to run it as a server. So that might be what I'm going to upgrade it to.
Do you want to use it for like network attached storage and like a home server, or are you going to be sharing stuff over the internet? Because that's been the main issue with me.
I will probably be using it mainly as a home sharing hub once I upgrade the hard drive, which I've got a 500 gig hard drive that's sitting in my custom PC that I have never finished. But there's just as far as I know, it's just some extra stuff that needs to be done, like mounting and whatnot. I might use it for home sharing, but I really don't have a reason to do anything besides home sharing. I might use it as a hub for people to download, like my music and my writing stuff. That's a possibility to me, but I'll have to see. I mean, I consider it a possibility mostly because since I already archived all my old podcasts, I need someplace to have them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I just recently got a 6 terabyte hard drive for this machine,
Sorry.
so
Give me a sec. I gotta modify my audio. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, my brother has been dealing with his.
I'm on the podcast with you guys, and I'm also, since I don't have cable, I'm running a streaming website so I can watch Raw.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
it's
hardcore like that.
Oh, okay.
We appreciate your full attention here.
Yeah, so that explains why in the middle of our conversation about rude drivers, he just goes, "Oh, slam, yeah, woo, I got champion."
Yeah.
Suplex body slam.
Hey, you just missed like a badass backstage brawl, haters.
A backstage
brawl.
fake brawl.
The brawl. Hey, if you have money in the bank, you
backstage
cash it in
punching
too.
air brawl. You mean punching air brawl, where you make it look like you punched them and you're just punching air? It
You're
looks
usually
like
just poofing air
from that
and
angle.
swooshing your fist towards me. It's actually quite comforting and nice. Really, because it looks like I'm hitting you.
Watch matches like work stiff, so, and you watch a stiff match and you're just like, oh, that's an ass whipping right there. But yeah, I'm thinking about running a server style. That way I can host my podcast from my home server and never have to really screw around with a direct website, and maybe just have the ability for people to go into the home server, download it at will, and bypass the entire thing as it is.
Well, I mean, certain versions of OS X, they used to have the ability to file share and run FTP without having to buy OS X server, but then they got rid of that, like 2 or 3 versions ago. For this thing, I was looking into it, and it has some really nice options for templating and, for setting permissions, like so that you could say, okay, this person can access these folders, but they can't get into this one. And, that'd be a good thing, because my brother and I, we have a lot of the same common media between us. Like, when he moved out, it was the big CD divorce. It's like, well, let me rip all the content of all the CDs that I have and you have, because that's just ridiculous. And now it's like, okay, well, we realized, let's just pool all our stuff, because it's like, okay, I've got a lot of movies, you've got a lot of movies. We're still trying to figure out what is the best ripper for OS X for, like, DVDs, because even the best one that we have so far takes a long time. And my DVD drive, I have to fight it to get it to open lately. Like, I have to literally hit it to shake the thing to pop loose. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't have a DVD drive on my Mac, so I could if I wanted to spend out for it, but it's not as important to me. Although there's a couple of a couple of files that I have that I would like to burn. Like a couple years ago, I got a copy of the Broken movie from Trent Reznor, and I got a copy of the Closure DVD from Trent Reznor, although it didn't really come from Trent Reznor. It came from Cito. So, what can I say? So, like, I have, like, TS video files that I have to have a program burn it off of. So, gotta have some...
I don't know. I've got the DVD drive in space for a second one, and I've been debating getting a Blu-ray drive, but it's like, I keep thinking, how long is that really going to stick around? Like, I've got a Blu-ray player and for the big TV, and it's like, really, I don't know. I don't know if it'd really be worth it. I mean, every time I have to pop a DVD, and I realize, how long has it been since I've opened up this drive? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, but...
The Blu-ray standard, it really isn't going away. I mean, I think it'll most likely be one of the last.
I'm not looking that it's going to go away. I'm just saying, like, is it more relevant to just buy digital files than it is to actually have to worry about loading a huge physical media?
It's still relevant to buy the physical copy because everybody knows that at some point security's going to go down, and then your digital copy is going to go poof. You know, there's too much of this crap already going on where people are like, well, I have hundreds of movies on my download, and it's all been wiped out. You know.
Well, I mean, I agree. If you're doing it remotely, then there is a lot more risk in it. But if you just have it on your computer, especially if you have a computer that's not connected to the internet, then that's fine. You know, you just have to worry about a fire, you know, pretty much, or some kind of disaster.
Most people won't keep that digital copy on their computer. They'll keep it on Ultraviolet, or they'll keep it on, iTunes or whatever. I like having iTunes as a backup if I want to watch something I don't have it on me. But as a whole, I won't use the digital copy unless it's on something like my PSP or my Vita. I mean, even on my iPod, I don't watch movies anymore. It's not relevant, and the digital format not being ready to take over was never more evident by the Xbox One release last year. Never more evident. If you remember the shit storm that ensued.
Yeah. Well, I would rather have instead of having a stack of CDs, I'd rather pay a little bit of money and actually get like a RAID thing, so you have redundancy then, you know?
Well, having a file is not the same as having an item as far as showing ownership. At least to most people. I mean, yeah, it may be all clean and clear, and oh my goodness, my office is just so perfect, there's no dust. But you know what? Your computer goes down, your account goes down, your ownership is worth nothing.
Well, let's be real honest though, Doug. Owning a CD, you own a copy of the music. You don't really own that album. So, at the end of the day, if every DVD player decides, hey, we're not going to let you play this file anymore, that doesn't mean having a DVD of it doesn't mean anything more than not having a digital copy of it.
But when you take a hard look at the ability to buy another DVD player that has a universal capability for the file that you're playing or the DVD that you're playing versus a computer, you basically have two forms of watchability using a digital copy. Internet, computer. Both go down, you're done. DVD, your DVD player goes down, you can go out and buy another.
Well, actually,
if given the option to watch something on Netflix or versus digging out a DVD, I'd rather watch it on Netflix because it's more of a hassle.
Well, if you have a hard drive, you could get those routers that you could plug into USB, you could stream it over to your TV then just on your hard drive over your personal network. You don't even have to be connected to the internet. You just got to be connected to your router.
But once again, your computer goes down, you're done. And as far as Netflix goes, I've had Netflix in the past. I was not impressed.
You don't need a computer to be able to access things on your personal network. If you could just totally detach your computer from the network, if it's still on the network, then it's still accessible. That's why having a external hard drive connected to your router is actually a good thing, because it can just be on by itself.
Hard drive, I mean, having an external hard drive that's hooked up to your personal network, I mean, your router goes down, which, let's face it,
you just buy another one then.
No, you're also
routers are cheap,
out way more money. Your hard drive goes down.
Your CDs catch on fire. I mean, really, you're just. I mean, we're just gonna, argue till we're both blue in the face on this, man. It's just, neither of us are gonna see the other side of the issue. It's just whatever.
I can respect the digital medium, but the digital medium will not become the standard for quite a long time until security hits a maximum.
I don't know. I expect that people want to have the ease of digital files, and what people want will push innovations in security down the road, and people will put up with quite a lot until we get better security. I mean, let's be honest, CDs and DVDs are great until you get a scratch on them.
Yeah,
and yet
they just degrade over time.
And yet we still have that. We still have them because they're cheap and easy to put up with, and people will go and get them because they are cheap and easy to get. So
yeah, I can't remember how many times that I've actually tried to go back and access something from a DVD that I actually needed and counted on, and then read error, write error. I can't get to it. There's no scratches on it.
No, number one, you have to also take care of your DVDs and CDs. Also have to hold them.
I said if there's even if there's not a scratch on it, sometimes there's problems with the disc itself and the manufacturing, or it just degrades over time. It's just like a floppy disk that's had the same problems with floppy disks.
I've even had DVDs I've had for years and still not had an issue with.
Well, it's
records.
That's why I don't like DVDs. It's
records.
You got that on vinyl.
It's hit or miss a lot of times.
Well, we're just all talking in circles here. Everyone has their preferred formats. I mean, I have a good amount of physical media. I've got bookcases full of DVDs, CDs, VHS tapes. Yes, remember them? Cassette tapes. Cause you remember cassette tapes. I might have one or two vinyls somewhere, but I don't know. I don't have a working vinyl player on me, I don't believe, so. But anyway, we're getting off topic here. The focus I've been trying to talk about is setting up a server, and I went with... Yes?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask, do you guys have... Since you guys are going to have this one main folder that you guys are both going to marry each other to, I guess.
That's what I would have liked to have done, but unfortunately that's not what we're doing right now. I'm setting up a server on my machine, and he's going to be setting one up on his machine, hopefully. Or he might just use the one on mine and drop all his stuff on it. I don't know. In fact, if you take a look at some of the frequently asked questions, and then he has a wiki that explains a lot of stuff too, which I'll link in the chat.
Right. Because I was going to say, if you guys have one hard drive, then you guys got to decide on like naming conventions and folder structure and stuff, and making sure it's organized, I guess.
Well, like I said, I'd have liked to have been able to just share a directory between us, but the logistics of getting that working out were just, wasn't working. So, I'd also like to link to the that forum for this site. Now, an interesting thing about setting up a server like this is that you open up a port on your machine, and people go to your IP and then the port number. And the thing is, if you have like a dynamic IP, it changes. So then you need to go to a service like NoIP, and there's a couple others where they'll keep track of it, and then will always update a static URL to your dynamic IP behind your router. And then this server actually has a wizard in it where you can enter in what service you're using and what the name is, and it will constantly grab. I'm hoping there's a nice smackdown move there, Doug.
And one day it will be, you shall not pass. I run fast like Shadowfax.
Oh man, but yeah. In fact, I should probably look for this real quick before. But there's services.
Actually, I was going to add in there's ways of. It's a little bit harder, but you can actually set up a static IP, so it just stays like that then. But it's. I've seen
that too, but it's a little harder and it's a little bit more. Like, I don't know if I'd want to do it.
I think you actually have to call your ISP and get some kind of address or something.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not.
He's so not doing that.
I'm not dealing with that noise. I mean, I don't know. I still need to go into my router settings and set the ports to forward, because right now I'm using an app to do it because I've just been testing it, because I don't want to have, a directory open to the internet until I'm sure he's actually checking it. So,
right.
It's a little on-off. But yeah, it's been an interesting app, and like I set up a port of it, and I emailed him a copy of the port I made so he could try it out, and he tried to open it, and he says, "Oh, the classic environment isn't supported on this operating system, therefore it can't open this file." I'm like, well, the classic operating system doesn't exist on my machine either, and I'm the one that made it. I think it might have been because I set it to save wine so that you wouldn't need to have wine running separately from the thing. So I think that probably did it. It might have just been the package from Wine Wrapper. I don't know. So, but yeah, it's interesting. Because this HFS works in two modes. There's easy mode, which is just basically set the directory, click to open, and it's basically everything's done. And then there's expert mode, where suddenly all the tabs come out, and you can configure things. It's like, oh, set the permission on this and change this template, and oh boy. So yeah. I managed. It's one of those things where the config file, you could spend months just going, okay, I want to make it look like this and do this, versus like just getting one up and running you can do in like 5 minutes. I don't know.
Well, I was curious too, Ben. How do you access? Just from like your computer, do you just have like a shared folder or whatever? How do you access your media files, like from your tablet and stuff? Now that I got a tablet, I'm just curious about that. Do you just have a shared folder or whatever?
It won't be hard to do once you get all that stuff up.
Well, I mean, I've got a Plex media server because I've got the Roku accesses it that way, and for the home sharing for iTunes on OS X has just been getting crappy, I guess because I have too many files. I don't know. It's not worth it. So I mostly use Plex is what I'd recommend for most people.
Does Plex have like some Android and iOS apps or whatever? How do you connect to it through your device? You can. You can go to if you run the server on your computer, you can go to a web page on your computer to administer it and move things around, and then you can also open that address in your web browser on your iOS device, even though they have an iOS app that's like $5. And it's like, well, if I can get to this for free through the browser, why would I pay? And why are you charging me for this? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's
functionality, my friend, functionality. I
mean, there's that. There's also Serve to Me, and is the name of the server. I don't know what, I can't remember what the media thing is, but there's a number of like little server things where you can set up a local thing and then just point your, open the app. Or, if with Plex, I think you can just go to a website, so if you have a web browser, you should be able to open it. Theoretically. Unless they lock out that capability to try and get the money. So.
Well, when you open up the browser, though, how does your, when you click on a link, say if that's like you have a movie or whatever in the browser, will that usually will your media player on your device open up that link then? Because you don't want to have to play everything through your browser, do you?
Well, playing stuff through the browser on iOS is actually rather nice. I mean, it just opens it up as a windowed thing. But I mean, it'll probably open up on your media player. I don't know. I mean, if you get an app, if you play it through an app, then I'm sure it'll just play just like anything else.
Right. So like if I use like Winamp or whatever, the Winamp app on Android.
Sure. Haven't heard that one in a while.
Should be able to get that to play. Oh, you don't like Winamp, man?
I haven't heard that in a while. And Winamp.
I remember when they came out with the Winamp on OS 10, and then shortly after said, yeah, Winamp, it's kind of being abandoned now, guys. Bye. Oh.
I still use it on my computer. It functions just fine. I mean, I don't need any extra features on it,
Oh, I remember the days when you would get Winamp and then you could skin it however you wanted.
Really whipped the llama's ass.
Are you a skinning junkie?
Yeah, man. Everybody I knew was, man. Back in the day, we're like, dude, I found these sweet NWO skins. Dude, download them. You download them. Be like, oh, that's stupid. Let's search for another one. Dude, I found this one chicken one. Oh, dude, download it. That's all right. Download another. It's like themes for the PS3. Like, you just can't stop until you find the perfect one.
And then it goes undated, and then an update breaks it.
Skin your OS, your media player, your browser. Skin everything.
I love going to a website that they have tutorials on how to use software, and all the photo grabs are from a Windows computer that's skinned to look like a Mac, and it confuses you for a second, like, wait, the buttons are... Oh, they're on a Windows machine, not a Mac. Oh, this is Windows software. Great, guys.
You dumb son of my mama's.
But yeah, I recommend checking this out. I'll have, in the blog post, I'll have it written up a little bit clearer about, setting, just going to their page about how to set it up, using the things to make a static IP, because if you don't have a set one every time it changes, you gotta go, okay man, the new IP number is ... And with one of those kind of services, it's a lot easier. So yeah.
Well, so how do you guys plan on accessing each other's stuff? Will you have to open it up in a browser, or will you be able to have like a folder that has like some kind of web address or something?
No, I think we'll just have a browser. I'll probably just have a bookmarklet or something for it when he gets his set up. I need to show him how I'm doing this. Like I've said before, this is just the best solution I found so far, because every time we're like, hey man, did you try VPN? And it's like, everything I've read about that is just using it to access YouTube from a different country to watch something. Or, like, every tutorial has never been about, this is how you set it up and this is how you use it. It's like, hey, you can do this with it, and we're not going to tell you how. You have to go hunt that information down. And I don't understand what this tutorial is even asking me to do anymore. So
yeah, well, I always like being able to access everything within the OS. Like I love that how you could get on that student drive back at AIP. It looked like a normal hard drive, but it was remote.
Yeah,
you could just open it up.
I'd like to access something like that, but I don't have an IT department. And my brother keeps texting me and asking me about how to do stuff, and then he texts me like, okay, I was setting this up, and I'm like, have you tried with that server yet? I haven't been at my computer, been at work. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. So, but anyway, I believe that's about it, unless you guys have anything specific you want to talk about on that topic. Like, if you guys have any suggestions for good servers that you'd recommend trying out.
Oh,
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh no.
No. Oh, I'm done, man. I'm done. Get it out of here. Get it out of here.
I had to mess with you guys a little bit.
Alright.
That
So,
bill is
I didn't
awesome
even eat
looking,
yet,
by
so
the way.
that's...
Is it trivia time? Is it time for me to see you in the ring, brother?
Oh yeah.
Let's start it.
Trivia.
Yeah, it's trivia then. And
You're not supposed to wear the belt until after the match, buddy. You don't wear it in the ring if you haven't fought yet.
in this corner, weighing in at I don't know how much, the returning champion, He's coming for you,
You
brother.
gotta get better with that. You gotta get better with that.
Well, I was doing a crappy
You
job
gotta,
because...
you gotta get more Paul Heyman in it.
Well, I was doing a crappy job because you see I'm gonna kick your butt. So, what's the trivia this week, Ian? Did you find a new one for us that doesn't suck?
Yeah, actually, I was worked on this before the show. A little bit at the beginning of the show. That's why I was sort of quiet. But this one is sort of like a general knowledge one. I wanted to see how we would all do on this one. The first 10 questions were sort of like they're sort of futuristic questions, but I guess they're educational at the same time. I guess, and the rest are miscellaneous. I believe you're. I try to detach myself when I'm making these, so like because since I have to make the answers, I have to, I don't want to try to memorize the answers. Then that would sort of be cheating. So I try not to pay attention to the text as much. You know what I mean?
Okay. So let's get started.
Uh,
All right.
okay. Actually, let me put in our names here. I'm gonna put my name first, and then Ben.
Ooh.
Then Doug. Because that's he's probably going to be last.
Yeah, because his score is going to be so high, it's just weighing it down. All right. All right.
Okay.
All right. A massive church called the Sagrada Familia is expected to be finished in Barcelona, Spain, celebrating the 100-year anniversary of its designer's death. That architect was killed by a trolley car and buried in an unmarked grave after working on it for 43 years, beginning in 1883. Who was the Barcelona-based architect? Was it A. Mies van der Rohe, B. Juan de Villanueva? Yeah, Villanueva. I trip over at trying to do an accent with my own tongue. C. Santiago Calatrava. D. Antonio Gaudi. Alright, who's going first? Should be the champion.
Yeah, let's make the champion go if he's so.
Trying to take away my champion's advantage, huh?
Yeah. Well, if you're so confident, then you should be fine.
Let's see. I will go with C. Santiago Calatrava.
I'm going with Gaudi.
I too am going with D. Antonio Gaudi.
Okay.
Didn't need no freaking idea category.
And the answer is
Yeah.
Antonio Gaudi. Ben and Ian take an early lead. Yes. Ben's doing his happy dance.
Yes.
Ooh, watch him thrust those hips. Alright. According to a claim made by Eric Schmidt, a certain company will finally achieve its goal to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. That company also subscribes to the corporate motto, "Don't be evil," even though some have accused it of trying to take over the world. Who knows by 2300? What software company is it? Microsoft, Yahoo, Apple, Google. You want to go on this one, Ian?
Yeah, I'll go on this one first. I'm going to just say Google. I mean, that's what it is.
The motto, don't be evil. That does sound like Google's. What do you think, Doug?
I'll have to go with Google as well.
Are we all just smoke air pipes? Quite, yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was Google.
See how the belt sparkles in the light?
Just like a vampire.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw up.
Only
on
this
that,
has value, okay? This has value.
that plastic has value.
Hey, what this represents has value.
He's like,
World
what
Championship
represents
pie
has value?
eating. Alright, let me ask the next question.
Okay.
Alright, after 639 years, an organ in the is it Burchardi or Bacardi? Bacardi Church in Halberstadt, Germany, is scheduled to finish its performance of As Slow as Possible. The piece of music, which is printed on 8 pages, was a work of an American composer also known for prepared pianos and a work set in utter silence. 433. I don't know how to read that at all. Who was this eccentric American composer? Oh, is it A. John Cage, B. Leonard Bernstein, C. Aaron Copland, D. Charles Ives?
And that's you, Ben.
639 years. Let's see. Others. 4. Let's see. No. Is that 2640? Is that the question, or is this the year that it's supposed to end?
That's these are. I guess these are years, in the future. These are more futuristic questions. So, I guess that's what the plan is. Or I'm not sure if these are hypothetical or if these are planned. But usually at the end of the question, that's what they ask it about. So they're
Alright.
asking about the guy.
I'm gonna go with Leonard Bernstein.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Bernstein as well. I was originally gonna go with that, by the way.
Yeah,
How about you,
none of the other names strike a bell, so I'll go with Bernstein as well.
Well, it should be something totally different. And the
Of
answer
course.
is John Cage.
Johnny Cage.
Wow, we all
That's
just got
amazing.
shadow kicked.
Oh, well. It's one of those random questions where we didn't know anything. Alright. 2800s. A few scientists theorize that for the first time the city of Pripyat and surrounding areas will be inhabitable by humans once more. Pripyat served as the home for workers at which of the following institutions on April 1986 incident at which resulted in thousands of deaths. Was it A. Love Canal's Hooker chemicals plant, B. Auburn's metal plating plant, C. Chernobyl's nuclear power plant, D. Bhopal's Union Carbide pesticide plant?
And that's Doug.
Chernobyl.
I'm gonna say Chernobyl. It could be something else, but 86, that sounds like
It's Chernobyl.
And the answer is Chernobyl.
Noble.
So far, Ian and I are in the lead.
Doug's still in.
Doug could come around and bite us in the butt. So anyway, all right. 3183. The final block will be placed on a structure located in Wendig, Germany, which was begun in 1993 and will take 1,190 years to finish. Why 1190? There will be 120 blocks placed in all, beginning with an 8x8 square and ending with a 2x2 layer. What is the name given to the planned structure? A. Time cube, B. Time cone, C. Time sphere, D. Time pyramid. Ian?
This is me, located in I'd like to go with pyramid, but that's probably too easy. I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with time sphere. Let's just be honest. This is gonna be a guessing game because we all don't know all this historic stuff.
Is it my turn or is it Doug's?
I will
Well,
say.
either of you can go.
Time cube.
Okay.
Beginning with a height of 8 by 8 square and ending with a 2 by 2 layer. 1190.
Actually, now that you read that, I'm going with cone. Actually,
yeah, I was going to go
changing
with
my answer
cone.
up.
It's either cone or pyramid, so I'm going to go with cone.
Yeah. So,
That's
Doug, are
code.
you sure you want to go with a cube then? That doesn't describe a cube. It either describes a cone or a pyramid. It's
Yeah,
ending
screw it.
that
I'll,
way.
I'll say pyramid. Why not? Just to be different. I don't care.
Okay, and the answer.
All right.
Boom, 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 boom.
Time pyramid.
Time
What?
pyramid! He comes around to
What?
being even with us. Now
What?
we're going to have to be neck and neck, folks.
There's no pyramids in Germany.
Not until 3183.
The age of
4000s.
dirt.
Sometime during the millennium, the age of Capricorn will begin. According to some astrological theories, the age of Capricorn will replace the astrological age that has been the subject of much debate. Are we in it yet? But which was made famous by the musical Hair. What astrological age would precede Capricorn? A. Age of Aquarius. B. Age of Taurus. C. Age of Pisces. D. Age of Gemini. And this is my answer, right?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if it's the musical Hair, it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius.
Yeah, I'm going with the ending of 40-year-old virgin as well.
I probably should have just kept that one a secret. You guys might not have recognized it. I should have been like, I don't know, what is that, Pisces? I don't know. I can't believe it.
Aquarius.
Also,
Yeah, that's probably the
age of-
mainstream answer though.
the age of my people will begin in 4000s. The answer? Age of Aquarius.
Book 'em,
So, we
Dano.
all got, so we're all doing equal so far. Who will win
Yes,
this
all
round?
F4s.
6757. According to astronomers, for the first time in recorded history, Earth will experience a simultaneous transit and solar eclipse. The transit will occur when a planet passes through the Earth, between the Earth and the Sun in its orbit, allowing there to be 4 collinear bodies in the solar system. Which of these planets, also the fastest in its revolution, will transit? Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, Mercury.
This is
Doug, I believe this is you.
this Doug? Yeah.
What in the blue hell? I'll say Jupiter.
Do 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 do.
Actually, I could. Like. Yeah.
What do you think it is, Ian?
I'm going with. I'm just gonna go with the easy answer and just say Mercury because it's the closest in the radius. So I would think that they would be quickest then, you know.
Well, the thing is, I was going to say it passes between the Earth and the Sun. It's like, well, Mercury would obviously become between us and the Sun. but
Yeah.
they're saying 4 collinear bodies. So are they counting the moon in that? What the? I'm gonna go with Mercury though.
Mercury.
And the answer is
Mercury.
Mercury.
Yes, we're back, Ben.
that's right. You know, Robin Williams, he said that when he was filming his first nude scene, there was a guy on a bicycle named Mercury who was circling him going, I have to speak to Robin. My name is Mercury. So, yeah. I'm sitting there going, Robin Williams had a nude scene? Alright. Oh, well. 8113. Boy, these are getting long, aren't they? The Crypt of Civilization will be opened at Oglethorpe University in Atlanta, Georgia. The time capsule was one of the first to be made in history and contains several items of historical interest. Which of these objects isn't housed in the crypt, which was sealed in 1940? Is it A, a Bible, B, the script of Gone with the Wind, C, a voice recording of Popeye the Sailor, D, an ENIAC computer? I believe this is Ian's.
Yeah. I don't know, that's hard, man. I'm just gonna say Gone with the Wind, I guess. That's probably the easiest to go with.
I'm gonna go with the Bible.
Well, why would you put a Bible in a time thing, though?
Because these are our people, and God bless America in the future, you heathens. Well, why would you put a voice recording of Popeye the Sailor?
Yeah.
I was either thinking a script or a computer you would
Maybe want to show somebody in the future. But I don't even know if that ENIAC computer was around then, so...
Well, I mean, 1940, if it was a true computer, it would have been about the size of a building, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
with
I'm gonna
like all those tubes and hoses and stuff.
I'm going to say D, an ENIAC computer. So let's see which one of us is right. We all seem to have some
Or
pretty
none
good
of us,
answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you it's be none of us, isn't it? An ENIAC computer! Yes! Yes! Bum bum ba da dum bum dum da da doom doom da da doom da doom da doom. Circa 10,000
I wanna see-
CE.
Hold on, I wanted to see Doug's face to see if he was...
Crying yet or not.
It's too soon,
Hey.
too soon.
Well, number one, I get paid to do this on pay-per-view, so I don't believe this was on the line. This was not established as a title match. This could be like a number one contender deal. So
Alright. Circa 10,000 CE. According to Brandon Carter,
Watch
no
out for that
humans
wall
will be
as you
left
backpedal.
will be left alive on planet Earth. Carter's calculations are based on the fact that his 1983 assertion probably was made halfway through the lifespan of the human race. Scary prospect, perhaps. What name is given to Carter's argument, which erroneously suggests the end of the Earth during one 24-hour span? Was it A, doomsday argument, B, German tank argument, C, eschatological argument, D, catastrophic argument? And this is me, right?
Yeah.
I'm going with, let's see, I'm narrowing it down to probably doomsday or catastrophic. The fact that, let's see, it's just at the end of the... See, a catastrophic would be like something happens that we didn't predict. Doomsday would potentially mean we could do it on our own. 24-hour. So if it's 24-hour, I'm going to say doomsday, because why else would you say 24 hours if not for a day? What do you guys say?
I'm just gonna be an oddball and go with German tank.
I'll
Alright.
stick with the doomsday argument myself.
All right.
Okay.
And the answer:
Oh, you guys
Doomsday
are right.
argument.
Oh,
Yes, still. I'm gonna sing the Doom song now. You know my Wii? It's named Doomy.
I have
For
phones
Doomsday?
getting unplugged. Yeah.
It doesn't want to hear me mispronounce words. It knows. That man's tongue just trips over everything. 10,759. Lucky for us, if the whole human race isn't dead in the year 10,000, we'll still have more than 750 years to enjoy beer before one company's 9,000-year lease on St. James Gate Brewery expires. The 1759 agreement was made at a lease of 45 pounds every year and resulted in the brewery becoming the biggest in Ireland by the 19th century. What company made that 9,000-year agreement? Guinness, Heineken, Anheuser-Busch, Foster's.
Guinness.
I'm going with the world record as well.
I'm gonna say Guinness as well.
Because
Go with
Foster's
that book,
is
the
Italian.
world record.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
give us
answer-
Guinness.
It's Guinness.
A.K.A. Mother's Milk. So anyway,
Me and Doug are tied at 6. Ben's at 8.
man, I'm swinging proud here. All right.
It's okay, Ian. We have to throw him a bone once in a while. I mean, he is the host.
Yeah, it is my show. I might just add this whole thing to have Ben is great, Ben is good, he is the key, he gives us food. Anyway, about which chambered sea creature did Oliver Wendell Holmes write a poem that ends with the line, "Leaving thine outgrown shell by life's unresting sea"? Was it the Nautilus, the Nurse Shark, Narwhal, Newt?
Is this me first?
No, yeah, this is you. I'm the last one.
I like to go with Nautilus, but that's like everybody's heard of the Nautilus. I might go with the Narwhal. Yeah, I think I'll go with that.
Okay.
I should go with the mainstream answer though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
you
go
should
with
sell out.
Nautilus.
I'm going to go with Nautilus as well. And the answer.
Dang it.
What's the answer, Ian?
Nautilus. Nautilus, man.
Yes.
I need to go with
The popular answer here.
Now, officially, Ian is in the dust.
Yeah.
Oh, not officially, man. He could nail every one of these, and we could all mess it up.
Well, you know what I mean. At this moment.
Yes. What capital of the Jiangsu province and site of a future massacre was once one of the 4 great ancient capitals of China? Was it Ningbo, Nantong, Nanjing? And this is me, right? It's the future famous massacre.
You're better off just throwing some pots and pans down the stairs and seeing what it sounds like.
We do not endorse Ian's racist commentary.
If you would like,
I'm just joking.
if you would like to send in a comment for this very erroneous sense of humor, please send it to Ben Thompson via Twitter at NoRights.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's your podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, Ben's responsible for everything here.
Let's see. 4 great ancient capitals of China. Let's see. Famous massacre.
Pot and pan massacre.
This is a shot in the dark, because I know very little about China. I'm gonna say Nantong.
Nanjing.
I'm going with Nanjing too.
Oh, well, maybe I should change my answer. No, I'm sticking with mine. And the answer is
Nanjing, yeah, Doug.
oh,
Boom, boom.
whatever. I'm still ahead.
Yeah.
In 2000,
But that-
despite
I-
controversy, yes.
I don't know how you got 2 points ahead. I don't remember that. I have it
Yeah,
put on there, but I
yeah.
don't.
You did.
I don't remember how you got 2 points ahead of either of us. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
My good looks. Alright, in 2000, despite controversy, the Russian Orthodox Church canonized which leader and his family as passion bearers, saints who don't quite die as martyrs, but in a Christ-like or Christian manner. Was it Napoleon, Nicholas II, Nasser al-Din Shah, Nebuchadnezzar II?
Who is this? Doug?
I think it's me. I'm going to go with Nicholas II. I'm probably wrong.
I'm going with the Nebuchadnezzar too. Like in the Matrix.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking it's probably one of those two. But Nebuchadnezzar versus Nicholas II. I'm going with Nicholas II.
Nicolas Cage too.
Not the bees! Not the bees!
Okay.
And the
So,
answer is-
You're going with Nicholas too. What was Doug going with?
Doug's also going with Nicholas II.
Oh, okay. Oh, Nicholas too. Get the what?
It's like that family on that Grown Ups too, where they're like, what?
Son of a bitch and damn it.
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright. What widely sold commercial spread containing the ingredients of hazelnut and cocoa was originally created in Italy? Nocilla? Nutella? Nagati? Natoka? And this is Ian, right?
Yeah. I'm going with Nutella.
Nutella.
Nutella the Hun. I mean, Nutella. Let's see what the correct answer is. Watch us all be wrong
Yeah,
on
it was
this.
Nutella.
Nutella.
No, it was Nutella.
I know. Can't be any worse than Vegemite, am I right?
Yeah. Vegemite.
This is true. This is very, very true.
What famous world site was the main architectural inspiration for the Sleeping Beauty Castle of Disneyland in California? Was it A. Neuschwanstein Castle, Nottingham Castle, Notre Dame de Paris, Nova da Vinci Convent?
And
This is me,
you,
isn't
Ben?
it?
Yeah.
Sleeping
with the
Beauty
Hunchback.
Castle. See, it could. Are you just trying to get me to suggest that to throw me off the trail, Ian?
Yeah, it's a trap. Yes.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. I'm gonna say Notre
I
Dame
could
de
be saying
Paris.
that to fool you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Notre Dame de Paris.
Yeah, I'm going to say Notre Dame as well.
Okay. Now do I?
I'm gonna.
I'm just gonna go with Nottingham. Screw it.
Screw it. It doesn't matter what I say anyway. I'll just screw it.
We were all wrong.
Neuschwanstein Castle.
It was A.
Well,
Oh well. Whatever.
don't we
Not
have
a
the
Disney
face full of
fanboy.
red?
I'm not a Disney fanboy. Are you a
Okay.
Disney fanboy, Ben?
I can take them or leave them. I mean, they're good sometimes.
Yeah.
Alright. What class of aircraft carriers includes the ships USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, USS Abraham Lincoln, USS Harry H.S. Truman, and USS Ronald Reagan? Ustashimi class, Nitario class, Nordkamp class, Nimitz class. I believe this is Doug's call?
Yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
I'll say Nimitz class.
Ian?
I'm going with NordCap class.
I seem to remember it's either Noshishimi or Nordkamp. Noshishimi, Nordkamp. And which one did you go with, Doug?
Nimitz class.
Nimitz?
You went with Nimitz. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably got it wrong, but I'm like, whatever.
I'm gonna go with the top one, Noshishimi. Noshishimi. Because it has the word shimmy in it.
That's your bases. That's whatever.
Whatever floats your boat and sinks your Harry S. Truman. And what were you going?
Doug!
Oh!
Get out of here, Doug. You Google, Doug. You're a master of Google, aren't you, Doug?
How am I master of Google when I'm sitting right here in front of you?
You've got the rare wireless brain connection. You don't even need to type it.
Okay.
It's really unfortunate because I don't have the creepy computer voice.
Alright. So,
Damn, man.
Doug and I are neck and neck
I
in
need to
this
catch
one.
up quick. Yeah.
What Australian golfer and winner of the Open Championship is known as the Shark? Jim Nelford, Jack Nicklaus, Greg Norman, Mike Nicolette. And I believe this is Ian.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna go with Greg Norman.
Greg Norman.
Well, if you guys are both going with Greg Norman, I'll go with Greg Norman.
This is what this whole system was of alternating players is for, man.
Well, I'm
Just going with
I'm
the
just paying
crowd.
attention to see what Doug does. Because Ian can guess all he wants. he ain't gonna tackle me in this one.
Oh yeah,
Greg
you see,
Norman.
this is what it was for. Greg Norman. That's why we alternate.
Alright. According to its own laws, what U.S. state demands that it holds the first U.S. presidential primary election in the nation? Nevada, Nebraska, New Mexico, New Hampshire. And this is me, right?
Yep.
Ah, crap. First presidential primary. New Hampshire?
Yeah, I'm going with New Hampshire.
That's the answer, New Hampshire.
And the answer
That
is
was New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. I'd like the record to show that I was the one that came up with that answer first.
Because you guessed. I knew.
So, you guessed
Yeah, I guessed
Caterpillar
too.
last time, and we still counted. All right. A professional familiar with the terms encephalopathy. That's all, folks. Encephalopathy and encephalitis would most likely be in which of the following fields of study? Nephrology, numerology, neurology, nematology. Doug, this
I
is
don't
you.
even know what field D is.
It's a study of nematodes. Neurology.
See,
Okay,
I've
well, what's
heard
your
of
basis on
encephalitis.
that?
My basis?
Yeah.
None.
I'm gonna.
I saw a word that looked familiar.
Yeah, encephalitis sounds familiar. I'm gonna say well, encephalitis, isn't that a condition? Let's see, numerology has to do with numbers. I'm gonna go with neurology, just the same.
I'm gonna go with the field that has part of the name in it, so I'm gonna go with nephrology.
Alright, and the answer.
Here, out.
Neurology.
Get out of here. Googleology.
I
That's
watch way
that's
too
what
much
it
Grey's
is.
Anatomy, dude. Come on.
So,
Gotta keep up with the Joneses, boy.
you don't learn anything from Grey's Anatomy other than this person's having a hot, twisted affair with this person while this person slept with this other person's fiancé. And then they shot them. Grey's Anatomy.
Doug's like, gotta keep up with the Googles.
Alright. Protests among the Kayan or Padong people in Myanmar
Sorry.
have grown within recent years about certain cultural practices, especially when the issues of human rights and women's rights come into the spotlight. Which of the following are the protests about? Noses, names, necks, nudity.
Whose is this?
You, I believe, isn't it?
I believe
Okay,
so.
I'm just gonna go with the controversy that you see all the time is just nudity, man.
I'm going to say nudity as well.
Okay, what are you gonna say, Doug?
This could be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Nothing else looks controversial enough, although you never know. I'll have to say nudity as well.
And the answer.
Next.
Necks.
Well, you guys are at a
Damn.
tiebreaker, and I'm out of the game, but you guys have a tiebreaker. We'll have to go with some. That was
Go with
the
the
only
monkey knife
trivia I
fight?
did for that.
In the event
Um,
of a tie, champion's advantage.
Okay, well, let's see. I don't have any movies.
Well, seeing as how this is my show, I'm always the champion, so
Do you have a belt?
I don't need a belt. My pants fit me.
The
Okay,
belt.
we'll go with the random. We'll go with the random technology questions here.
All right.
Alright.
We'll start up from the bottom up.
All right. An electrode
Okay, so
is
go
the
with the
same
last one.
as a. An electrode is the same as a battery, neutron, circuit, terminal.
Okay. Alright. It doesn't matter what I say, so you guys just go ahead.
What do you think it is, Doug?
That, since I have no bloody idea. Terminal. Screw it.
I was going to say terminal as well.
Okay.
And the answer?
It's terminal.
Terminal.
So.
All right.
You guys are still. You guys keep going then.
All right.
Next
WYSIWYG
one up.
is a great little computer word. What does it stand for? World Youth Syndicate, Internet-wide yesterday group. What your system is winning, you're growing. Where your system is worded, you get. What you see is what you get.
Okay, you both know that one.
Yeah, what you see is what you get.
D. What you see is what you get.
Okay. So 16. Let's keep going then.
Who was Grace Hopper? The person who gave IBM the nickname Big Blue, the designer of the ENIAC computer, Bill Gates' first secretary, the inventor of COBOL. Is this me?
By the way, Yeah, let's establish an order. I guess you could go, Ben. And then it'll be Doug if you don't get it. Or if it's tied again.
Well, this is all random, so it's just a shot in the dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like most of the game.
Let's see. I'm gonna say the inventor of COBOL.
I'll say the person who gave IBM the nickname Big Blue.
And the answer. And the deciding
the
factor.
game.
The inventor of COBOL!
COBOL!
Yes! Yes!
Yes.
Congratulations,
I am the
you are
greatest.
now the #1 contender, my friend.
I am now the greatest guesser of the show tonight. Yes.
You're the best guesser.
Yes. I BS'd with the best of them. Yeah.
Look at those tears. He's crying. Those tears are dripping down. Look at.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
No, he's still watching Raw. He was distracted. He's like, well, they can have COBOL, whatever. Day.
Can't find it. Can't find it. I can't find it.
Doug. Well, first of all, you should get that belt out of here, first of all. You should put the belt away.
This is a non-title match. Therefore, still...
Who said it was a non-title match?
This was not announced as a title match, my friends. I don't fight for free.
Oh, you didn't know this was a bra and panty match? I'm sorry. That look on his face.
You understand the prestige of this, my friends? The prestige of being the best. And I'm Goldberging the title right now, but I don't care.
Rube
Prestige
Goldberg?
of being the best.
Oh, you guys.
You better watch out for that wall before you... With your backpedaling there, man. You're gonna run into the wall.
No.
Well, he'll just burst through it like
Fucking
Deadpool.
Shockmaster.
Oh yeah.
We'll get you next week, brother.
See you in the ring next week, huh? Same bat
seen
time,
Doug's blood.
same bat channel.
All good.
You're not indestructible, are you? We just saw some blood.
Saw something? No. That was a fluke. That was a guessing game gone awry. And I am just... I'm incensed at the fact that we have to guess.
Well, how is it a guessing game? I mean, if you knew the knowledge, then you would have beaten him, you know?
None of us knew the knowledge.
Is knowledge.
We all sucked in that one, buddy.
I will have my revenge, Hulk Hogan. I will see you in the ring.
You gotta...
And you better bring some of that sweet
If you
tea. Study?
If you had studied everything.
I studied at Ian's school of BSing and making stuff up. I got my doctorate
if you
in...
knew-
I don't know what this is.
Well, I'm not personally good at
went for-
knowing useless facts, but somebody could be. I don't know.
But I'm not good at knowing useless facts. I'm just good at maneuvering around and going, ooh, it's obviously not that. Ooh, it might be this. Ooh, maybe it's not space, baby. Yeah, ooh.
And on that mercenary note, we should. I'm probably gonna bow out, guys.
Yeah, I think it's about end time.
Yeah, we're sitting. Well,
So we're sitting at about 3.5 hours now. So yeah, they're gonna kick us off eventually if we don't go. So
this is true.
I'd like to thank our viewers. I'd like to thank our gracious guest Doug and my co-host Ian. You guys make this an entertaining show every week.
You should be throwing up the peace sign instead of the devil sign, Doug. Yeah, quit that devil sign.
It's not the
You
devil
need a
sign,
peace
it's metal.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. And we'll see you all on the other side.
Peace, not war.
To find out more, visit NoRightsProductions.com. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NoRights. And hey, why don't you check out my Tumblr at NoRights.tumblr.com.